Oh, pretty fake. Here's Anwan. Prince for the deuce. Kevin Garnett. Got it up. Oh, my! Wow! Tonight, the Eastern Conference Finals returns to Boston all even. Game 4 in Detroit had the Pistons fired up. After losing at home in Game 3, they came out with a force. Antonio McDyess led the charge as the Pistons defense was everywhere. Now this physical, emotional series has become a best of 3 for the right to play for the NBA championship. It's the Pistons, Celtics, Game 5 next.
Focus, confidence, commitment.
10 seconds to go. Johnson fires, fouled, hit it! He hit it! He hit it! He was fouled and he hit it!
I get it out deep and Havlicek steals it. It's all over.
Passion.
LeBron James with a drive and a dynamite dunk.
Soul. Heart.
Here's Miller. Miller's open. Fires. Yes! Reggie hits it at the buzzer. It's unbelievable. Oh, my.
Incredible.
It's all over. It's all over.
You know, Coach says, you know what's great about winning a championship? He goes, it's hard work. It's hard work. You know, you guys don't want to change. It's hard. It ain't easy. But you know what? That's what makes it so special. That's what makes, and that's the bond that gives all the teams, everyone together. That's the bond that you have. If you've gone through something together, if you've gone through the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Okay, guys, hey, I can say one thing tonight. Hey, it's our time tonight.
We're going to catch the ball where we should catch it. We're going to post it where we should post it. We're not going to allow them to catch it on spots that they want to catch because that's what we do. So in this game, we have to use our advantages all game.
Both head coaches know that their teams are 2 wins away from playing in the NBA Finals. It's time for Game 5. Who gets the upper hand? Well, it's time to find out. Let's get things started. Get our starting lineups presented by Miller Lite. Here's PA announcer Eddie Palladino.
Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Detroit Pistons. At guard, 6'3" from Colorado, number 1, Chauncey Billups. At the other guard, 6'7" from UConn, number 32, Richard Hamilton. At 1 forward, 6'9" from Kentucky, number 22, Tayshaun Prince. At the other forward, 6'9" from Alabama, number 24, Antonio McDyess. At center, 6'11" from North Carolina, number 36, Rasheed Wallace. The head coach of the Detroit Pistons is Flip Saunders.
They've alternated wins in the first 4 games of this series, each winning on the other team's court once. Let's see what tonight will bring. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Breen on hand. This series, these teams, it's all about defense. That's why they're so good. But you still have to score to win the game, and that's why a couple of guys tonight are vital for their respective teams. Let's start with the Celtics. Paul Pierce is still the man. He's been here for a long time, and yes, Garnett has been brilliant this season, but Pierce is the guy offensively who can find some answers to that great Piston defense.
Well, you talk about this Celtic team. Every time their back has been against the wall, it's been Paul Pierce that's shown up and showed out. Talk about Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks. Pierce, 22 big points, setting the tone offensively, getting to the free throw line, and then crashing the boards. And you talk about against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, put on a stellar performance offensively. This is Game 7 like 2-2 in your building. It is Paul Pierce's time.
Meanwhile, for the Detroit Pistons, the guy that Boston can't figure out how to stop offensively is Rip Hamilton. Just so consistent, Jeff, night in and night out.
And yet somehow he's still underrated. He's so efficient, and he has no one signature move except that he moves without the ball better than anyone in the NBA. Fundamentally, on balance, and you see how it turns into performance. His efficiency, Game 3 and Game 4, he closed out Game 4 by running catch-and-shoot plays and knocking in the shots. They need Hamilton and Phillips to play well here tonight.
Celtics say one of the keys tonight, slow down Rip Hamilton. Meanwhile, let's bring in our sideline reporter, of course, Michelle Tafoya. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michael. I caught up with Flip Saunders just before the game to ask him what the single biggest key is tonight for the Pistons, and he summed it up in 2 words: be physical. He believes that whichever team has been more physical in this series has won, and to that end, Saunders gave his team the day off yesterday. No practice, no walkthrough, no film. They didn't even see each other until they boarded the plane in Detroit. And Saunders said it was important for body and mind, but most important was the rest to their legs, which they'll need tonight in order to be physical, Mike.
All right, Michelle. Both coaches have done that throughout this series in terms of giving the extra day off. And Jeff, as a coach, talk about giving them their legs, letting them have that day off sometimes is more important than getting back and working on the floor at this time of the year.
Well, it's a balance. You have to try to figure out as a coach, what do you need? Physical work, mental work, or no work at all? Yesterday, Flip decided no work at all, while the Celtics came in, light practice, more mental work, probably because Doc wanted to get them back together again after a difficult loss.
We've talked so much throughout these playoffs about Boston and their home floor. At 35-6 during the regular season, Rondo's first shot won't go. 9-1 here in the playoffs, but that one loss in the postseason was in Game 2 to these Pistons. They handed them their first playoff loss. The Pistons also handed them their first regular season loss as Phillips knocks it down. That was way back in December. Celtics were 12-0 at home. So Detroit feels pretty comfortable here. Ray Allen stripped. Ball taken back. And Rondo sets it back up. Shot clock did not reset as the Pistons never had possession. Nice touch pass. And Perkins the first bucket for the Celtics.
That's pretty basketball. Guys touching the basketball, catching it, and making plays. Garnett to Perkins, high percentage possession.
Chauncey Billups did not shoot well in Game 4, but Jeff, you believe he had a very strong game.
Well, I thought he looked better, and you saw it again on the first move of the game where he blew by Rondo for the pull-up as Prince traveled. He didn't shoot efficiently, but he played and looked much better.
Traveling violation on Prince will negate that bucket. So we're still tied at 2. And the crowd into it again. It has been a revival year here in Boston for these Celtics after such a disaster last year. Ray Allen jumper in and out. Perkins pushed off to get the board. That's his first. And we see Allen miss his first shot of the game. Ray Allen struggles.
Well, I like what Doc Rivers is doing. The first play, ISO for Rondo. Third play, curl screen for Ray Allen, trying to get both guys off offensively to set a tone. You know what Pierce and Garnett are going to bring.
Doc Rivers saying before the game, Ray Allen, he's just not playing well, but I know he's still capable, and we're just waiting for that breakout game. Phillips shot in and out, Pierce the rebound. telling Michel Tafoya before, he's not trying to put too much pressure on him. Tied up that time. He's also faced some excellent defense. Perkins and Wallace spinning underneath. Wallace got a piece of it. Here comes Billups. As Hamilton can't handle it, and the Pistons turn it over, which has been a rare thing in the past couple of games.
Well, Rasheed Wallace does a good job keeping his body away from Perkins and using his extraordinary length. But what disrupted that play at the start was they just came off Rondo and just doubled the ball. It's going to be very important that they find Rondo, and Rondo's aggressive.
And Rondo has to recognize that, talk about it in between plays, and then get to a spot where you can catch and score.
Garnett, they did a good job of him finally in game 4. He's been dominant in his series and against the Pistons. That time he draws the foul. It's going to go against Antonio McDyess. Or do they call it on Wallace? Yep, it's on Wallace.
And where Garnett caught the ball was much different than in game 4. He was on the post. In game 4, they had him pushed out another full step and a half.
And you look at it, Flip Saunders is well aware of that. He coached Kevin Garnett, so he wants his guys to be more physical against Garnett on the block. You get him in this position, when he drop step and faces you, cannot be guarded.
And they were definitely more physical in game 4. And Doc Rivers just felt overall that the Pistons were much more physical throughout the entire game in game 4. One of the reasons why Celtics shot a lot of free throws. That's what kept them in the game, getting to the free throw line. Billups had 7 assists and no turnovers in game 4. Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace for 3, puts it in. He's been really struggling from downtown. That gives the Pistons a 2-point lead.
That play is made by the dribble penetration of Rip Hamilton. Garnett forced the help, and Rasheed winds up with an open jump.
Turnover for Boston, their first. The Pistons have 4 wins on the road already in these playoffs, tied with the Lakers. Obviously, they've played more games than a lot of other teams, but they won in each of their series on the road. Prince lines up the shot. In and out. Won't go. Prince has been struggling last couple of games shooting the ball, but he's played much better on the road for Detroit than at home during the playoffs. Rondo to Perkins. Perkins banks it in.
I really like what Rondo is doing early, putting the ball on the floor. If you're not a shooter, well, make a play. Being aggressive and made that play for Perkins.
And a foul away from the ball.
It's about body language, and right now Rondo is saying to Billups, you have to defend me. I'm not a shooter, I'm not a scorer, but I have to put you in a position where I can make plays. That time did it for Perkins.
And he's driving to score. Earlier in the series, he was driving to pass, and if you drive to score, you'll make the help come and find open people like you found Perkins.
Shot about a foot short. That last foul on Ray Allen. Here comes Rondo. You saw Rondo's numbers much better at home. Ray Allen for 3. And maybe the most welcome sight for the Celtics. It's only 1, but he has really struggled to get going.
But give credit to Rondo, pushing the ball in transition, allows Ray Allen to get to the spot, and then delivers the basketball.
Ray Allen coming out with that sleeve on his left arm. I don't think I've ever seen him wear that. Ball knocked loose, picked up by Pierce. Celtics force a turnover. Pierce taking his time down the floor, and it goes. He's not the quickest player in the NBA, but when he wants to get somewhere, he gets there.
You talk about the strength and the ability to get to the sweet spot. My goodness.
A 7-0 run, and Flip Saunders has to call a quick timeout.
Tell you what, this is a big-time play by Paul Pierce. If I made this move, all these spins, I'd be on the IR out for the rest of the year. Spectacular play. And how about a beautiful sight to see if you're a Celtic fan? Ray Allen knocking down the jump shot in transition.
Well, Allen and the Celtics off to a hot start here in the opening period. Welcome back to Boston, Game 5. Good start for the Celtics and a good start for Ray Allen, who knocked down his first three-pointer. But was it a three? Very close. Allen doesn't care whether it was a 2 or a 3, I don't think. He just happened to knock down a perimeter shot. But just goes to show you, and you guys are going to destroy me for saying this, how tough it is to officiate. Look how close that is, whether it's a 2 or a 3.
That's not close. That's a 3. First of all, outstanding camera work by our crew and outstanding refereeing by getting it right.
I agree. I think it is close. I think when you're 1 centimeter away, that's close. But I give the officials a lot of credit. Running in transition to be able to spot that, that's very difficult. And that is Ray Allen's signature shot, the transition 3.
Someday I'll get you guys on my side on all this.
We agreed with you.
No, we didn't agree.
Phillips to Prince. Pierce guarding Prince. He's done a good job on him. Phillips spots up for 3. Chauncey Billups, another one.
And I don't like that play by Rondo. He overhelped. Pierce had containment of Prince going to his weak hand, which is his right hand. He came off of Billups for no reason.
And even after the play, Paul Pierce looked at him and said, hey, I don't need help. Stay on your man.
Allen. Nice pass inside. Garnett. And Garnett pass one too many. Perkins not expecting it.
Well, here, Pierce is doing a very good job. Rondo, in a gamble for the steal, leaves Billups. And again, Billups looks very good the last game and the start of this game.
It's inside. Looked like he had a layup, but threw it back out. I mean, Perkins was in the vicinity, but he had an open shot.
That's a wide open lay-in for Chauncey Billups. Read it the wrong way. Found Flip Saunders, but he's in a suit and tie. If you're Billups, you got to lay that in.
So he's used to play college ball at University of Minnesota.
It's a luxury to have a coach that had game. Guy I played for in New York.
Wow. The Barbs start early.
Good help defense from Wallace. Garnett from outside. Perkins the rebound. Perkins at times has been such a factor for this team. He's had some strong games, and he's active to start.
And it's about for him staying out of foul trouble. Stay on the floor, be able to play 30 to 32 minutes. And in the offseason, continue to work on your conditioning.
Hamilton can't get it to go. McDyess. Hamilton gets another chance. And Perkins another rebound. Some elbows flying there. And a whistle. Going to go against Billups. Billups knocks down Kevin Garnett. Picks up his first. Perkins and Rondo's those other starters we've seen when they play well, when they're active, when they're aggressive. Celtics are a tough team to beat. Now the numbers scoring-wise better on the road, but he's had some good home games. Rebounding and defense, that's what he's out there for. McDyess is really battling Garnett. Rondo. Garnett, good open look.
What I love about that is Kevin Garnett being fronted by McDyess on the block. Instead of fighting him, comes out and sets a screen on Paul Pierce, creating that play. Trust your teammates, and he got it back.
And a foul on Rondo, trying to fight over a screen, just whacked into Rasheed Wallace.
The play is for Garnett to post up. He's being fronted, make the right play. Steps out, pick and roll, the ball swings. Trust that it's going to come back to you. A better possession, a better shot.
McDyess to Billups. Shot clock down to 7. Wallace, that's a long 3. Rasheed Wallace, 2 for 2 from downtown. He went through a stretch where he hit 3 of 29 from three-point range as Garnett draws another foul. It's going to go on McDyess this time, and that will be his first. Free throw shooting again in game 4 was huge for the Celtics. 32 of 39, where they really struggled from the field. Had only 21 field goals the entire game. And this will be their 3rd and 4th free throw to start. Reminder, our NBA calendar tomorrow on TNT, Western Conference Finals, Game 5, Spurs and Lakers from the Staples Center. Lakers with that 3-1 lead after that wild game last night. Coverage begins at 9. Then Friday at ESPN. We'll be back at the Palace for Game 6 of this series. Coverage begins at 7:30. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. We'll get into that Spurs-Lakers a little later. I want to get you guys' take on the controversial ending.
Just take a wild guess. You think we're going to agree or disagree?
I think I know the answer. 5.5 to play here in the first. Hamilton and Allen. So much about Allen shooting, but it's his defense that's perhaps more important tonight for the Celtics, the way Rip Hamilton's been playing. That shot won't go. And Garnett already helping the Celtics on the boards. They dominated the boards at times. Pierce, boy, short. Prince got a piece of it. Perkins. And Perkins has come out hot. 8 points and 4 rebounds already in the first 7 minutes.
And you can just tell that this young man believes that he can score on the block. Not looking around. When you get the offensive board, it's your time to play one-on-one. And Perkins twice already scoring.
Only averages 6 points a game in the regular season into the playoffs. He's already surpassed that here in the first. Shot clock winding down. Excellent defense. Prince has to put it up over Garnett. He gets the bounce. That's one of those excellent defense. Sometimes it just happens.
And I like Rondo's defense on the pick and roll. He's fighting much harder not to get screened early in the game.
Rondo inside, misses the layup on a nice give and go. It's been feast or famine for Rondo. He's had some good moments. He's had some real struggles. Prince to the basket. Tough shot won't go. Rebound taken by Garnett. Ray Allen off the dribble. You're just waiting for him to hit a couple in a row. Every time he knocks one down, people here in Boston thinking, okay, the slump may be over. Wallace will try again. Garnett. Again, trying to force it in. Celtics were 3 turnovers. Pistons with 4. Both teams have done a pretty good job in the series on that, but a little sloppy here in the opening period.
I think that time Garnett on the block wanted to be a passer. You have to get on the low post and think score. Until the help comes, then you make the play.
Hamilton back out. Wallace is going to try another one. That's his 4th already, and he's knocked down 3 of them. Rasheed Wallace can be lethal from downtown.
You know, people are probably watching saying, why is Rasheed shooting so many threes? Well, the guy is wide open. He's a knockdown shooter getting wide open looks. That's a good shot for Rasheed Wallace and the Pistons.
And perhaps that's why Doc Rivers calls timeout. 9 early points for Rasheed Wallace. He has not had one of those explosive offensive games yet. Maybe tonight.
Well, he's a pick and pop player. Very rarely rolls to the rim when guarded by Perkins. That's a very difficult cover to help on the pick and roll and close all the way to the three-point line.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And the Buick, Pontiac, and GMC Memorial Day Sale.
Back in Boston, Game 5. Just over 3 minutes remaining in the first. Celtics by 1. Veteran leadership a part of both these teams. A couple of guys giving little pep talks to their teammates in the past couple of days. Paul Pierce doing it for the Boston Celtics, and Antonio McDyess doing it for the Detroit Pistons. Their main message: cherish the moment of playing in these big games, because you'll never know when you're going to get back.
2 more wins away from the finals. You know, that's every basketball player's dream, you know, to be in the finals. And a lot of players don't get to this point in their careers. And, you know, when you get to this point right now, I say you got to make the most of it.
You'll feel good about the way you play. If you play hard, you can't have an excuse. If you don't win, at least, you know, you lay it all on the line.
Well, McDyess plays that way every night, as does Pierce. And Pierce remembered back in 2002, last time the Celtics were in the conference finals. They lost to the Nets in 6 games that year, and he said, okay, we'll be back next year. But he had some rough years here in Boston since then, and a little more appreciative of being back here this time.
And it's easier for the older guys to understand that message. Younger guys think, oh, it's going to happen again. No matter who you are, when you're younger, you think it's going to happen again. Success just happens. Guys like Pierce, Garnett, Allen, the veterans of the Pistons, they embrace these situations.
As Pierce gets in, nice move. Although you can't blame Tayshaun Prince for thinking that. Every year he's been in the league, he's gone to the conference finals.
I'm jealous.
3-point Celtic lead. First substitution of the game, Jason Maxiel, who was terrific in game 4. First off the bench to give McNice a little break. Shot clock at 6. Prince way short. Perkins the rebound. He got pushed by Maxiel.
But you see in that situation, Garnett playing center field almost like Billup does against Rondo when Rondo's on offense. Since Garnett has Maxiel, he helped everybody on that possession.
Celtics here at home, their defense has been unbelievable in the 10 playoff games on their home floor. Teams averaging under 82 a game, shooting 39%. As Pierce knocks it down. Paul Pierce now 3 for 4 from the field.
Just a good read. Kevin Garnett getting ready to come over and set a screen. Paul Pierce looks and says no, wanted the ISO, and then turns, knocks down the jump over Prince.
Phillips gets past Rondo. Rondo trying to alter the shot. Perkins another rebound. 6 boards for Perkins. He's had double figures twice in the series. Ray Allen the floater. And Rondo the rebound. Bad pass. Each team with 4 turnovers. Maxiel trying to clear some space. Tough shot over Perkins. Well, he plays with a lot of confidence. You get the feeling the only reason he doesn't play more minutes is because they've got such a good front line. But he's going to get his chance someday here.
Well, there's no reason for him not to play more minutes as Billups comes up with the steal.
Back-to-back turnovers. Garnett fouls Billups. And for Garnett, that will be his first.
And when I talk about playing more minutes, because you have the luxury of being able to play him with Wallace or McDyess, so he should be on the floor a lot.
They're discussing whether or not it's a clear path foul. Kenny Maurer checking with Callahan. Let's take a look at his mind. He does foul him from behind. Clear path would be 2 shots and the possession, which is no defender between the ball and the basket when the foul occurs in a play that originates in the backcourt. That's a clear path foul. And that's the way they decide. They just changed the rule a couple of years ago. It used to be 1 shot and possession. Now it's 2 shots and possession. Let's see, was Rondo ahead of him? That's the question mark. That's very close, but he did foul him from behind.
Now that's a good call. It's a heavy penalty. You're better served fouling him once he gets in the act of shooting, so then it's only 2 shots.
Right. A lot of that rule is to prevent guys on fast breaks, nobody ahead of him, somebody from behind, committing a hard foul, which can hurt somebody. It kind of discourages you from taking a wild shot. As P.J. Brown checks in for the first time. But like you said, much heavier penalty now that they've made it 2 shots and possession.
And Boston's offense is hurting them right now with the turnovers. The turnover game is fueling Detroit's offense.
Phillips looking to post up Rondo. Nice move. Can't get it to fall. Perkins has been a monster on the boards.
Really can't say enough about the job that Perkins is doing offensively, but dominating the ball.
He has more rebounds than the entire Piston team here in the opening quarter. As Prince reaches in, Pierce draws the foul on him, and he'll go to the line.
And that's such smart offense. When you're such a good shooter like Pierce is, Prince has his hand extended to try to contest the shot, and then Pierce brings the ball up through his arm to draw the shooting foul. Very good, very intelligent offense by Pierce.
Celtics now 3 of 5 from the line.
See, the hand is extended to try to be able to get up on that shot. You just rip it through. The old deadlift shrimp move.
I had a chance to talk to Pierce. He says, hey, I feel like I cannot be defended one-on-one. And I tell you what, he's definitely right in that analogy as far as he's concerned offensively. Has the package, and with the ball in his hands, I've watched this guy time and time again. He's unstoppable when he's on his game.
And with Rondo on the floor, he's never going against straight single coverage. It's always a man and a half, which is much more difficult.
Rodney Stuckey checks in. And a defensive 3 seconds called against the Celtics. So a technical foul, 1 free throw. Phillips will go to the line.
Now you think about it, Mike. 2 free throws given away on the clear path. Now you have a defensive 3. These are the things that can come back in a close game. to haunt you.
It's like giving away points.
Well, you make a great point. Everybody will pay attention to the final play down the stretch, but really don't realize that these crucial points that you're giving away in the first quarter, that's the reason why you lose ball games.
That's why you always hear veterans and coaches talk about playoff games every possession, how important it is right from the start. Stuckey creates some space and knocks it down.
And Rondo's getting caught on the side of people. He's got to square him up, and particularly Stuckey, who's not really a range shooter, make him shoot it up over the top from range.
Well, he's a gambler by nature. You got to stay in front of guys.
About a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Stuckey is guarding Pierce. Now Prince comes to help. Prince tells him, I'm okay. Rondo fires a three. Rebound, P.J. Brown. Plenty of time. Posey for three. That won't go. Blocked by Prince. Doc Rivers hopping up and down. He wanted a goaltend. A great rejection from Tayshaun Prince, known for his playoff blocks, but Doc Rivers didn't think it was legal. Let's take a look at the play as the Celtics with a chance to score in the final seconds. Very close. Looked like it may have been on the way down.
I say add another one to the resume of Prince. Big time shot block.
First quarter complete. Game 5 from Boston. Series all tied at 2 games apiece. And now this one tied at 23. Rasheed Wallace opening up from downtown, but struggling all series, hit 3 in the first quarter.
So focus.
Back in Boston, where the game is tied at 23, Flip Saunders, you told me before the game you wanted your team to be physical. How do you think they've responded?
I think we've been good. We turned it over a little bit early, first few times down the floor, but we eased our way into it, settled down a little bit. We shot the three really well. I think we're in pretty good rhythm right now.
You often say you finish how you start, and strangely, this game hasn't had a quick start by either team. So what would you like to see different?
I think, one, if we can keep our turnovers down. We made a couple where we dribble a little bit too much, keep the ball moving, get our assists to turnover ratio up a little bit.
Flip, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Mike?
All right, Michelle, and if that guy can keep hitting threes, first 4 games of the series, he hit 2 3-pointers, 2 for 11. In the first quarter, he already has 3 of them. And that can be such a weapon for a team that's been struggling from downtown in this series. Stuckey against Pierce. Perkins falls down, another rebound, already with 9. Sam Cassell getting the early minutes as the backup point. Cassell has struggled on the road, but has played some good minutes here at home.
And you can see right away, Flip Saunders sending in Lindsey Hunter. The ball pressure is so crucial. Want to make life miserable for Sam.
P.J. Brown doubled. Pistons playing a very physical defense. Doc Rivers and some of the Celtics were talking about what some people call the Riley rule the other day, saying that if you foul every time, the officials are going to stop calling half of them. You just keep fouling and fouling and fouling, and then they'll only pick out the more severe ones. That always comes from usually the team that lost the previous game.
Yeah, I never heard Coach Riley say that.
Well, meaning his teams used to do that. Play that tough defense where they fouled you so much or just played so physical, it was hard to just pick apart a foul. Perkins again. How about Perkins? 10 points, 9 boards.
I love what Perkins is doing, but I disagree with Doc. We defended in New York without fouling. We were finesse.
Doc Rivers was part of the Riley teams in New York, those great defensive teams, as Hamilton knocks down the shot.
That's good ball advancement by Sam Cassell, getting the ball ahead, eliminating the pressure of Hunt.
Hamilton on Pierce. Pierce takes his time. Shot won't go. P.J. Brown tips it out. Sam Cassell. Perkins lost it, picked up by Hamilton. He wanted a foul, as did the crowd. Stuckey alley-oop, and a foul on Brown. That's a tough, hard foul. Maxiel was up in the air as Brown knocked him to the ground. Now let's see, they're going to discuss whether or not it's a flagrant foul.
That's not a flagrant foul. P.J. Brown trying to eliminate the dunk attempt. That's good playoff basketball. It's a foul, but it's not a flagrant.
With the guy up in the air, though, Mark, that's where a guy gets hurt.
Why don't you just shake his hand and ask him to sign his shoes for you? This is playoff basketball. That's a good play by P.J. Brown.
I concur. That's not a flagrant foul. Flagrant fouls are not how the guy falls. It's what has actually happened. There was no wind-up. There was no follow-through.
And they're going to call a flagrant one on it. Doc Rivers obviously feels the way you guys do. So it's going to be 2 shots and the ball.
See, this has got to be different than in the regular season. This can't be called the same way. Too much is on the line. You can't be giving guys points. If you want to keep control of the game in the regular season and you make a call like that and you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. But in the playoffs, if you miss one of these calls, it can come down. Now they've got a breakaway, which was correctly called, a defensive 3, and now a flagrant.
I still think when a guy goes up in the air, let's watch Doc Rivers.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
No, just let me finish. He upset as soon as he found out flagrant 1. And you push with the body. If you're going up to try and block the shot, that's one thing. If you got your hands on the body and pushing the guy with his up in the air, then I think you have a different story.
He didn't push him with his hands on the lower body. He didn't jump as high. His hands were extended up.
You're better than that, Mike Green.
I want a segment sponsored by a sponsor where Mark can go into this thing. Are you kidding me? And this would be the first installment. Are you kidding me, Mike Breen? Where did he push him? In the armpit?
Yeah, he's pushing him in the armpit.
He's eliminating the dunk attempt, forcing him to go to the line.
All right. I just think when the guy's up in the air, that's the dangerous situation. That's where guys get hurt.
Well, here's
push when they're up in the air.
Here's what you look at, the way that Maxiel got up. He's not frustrated. That's a basketball play. Go to the line and shoot your 2.
You're talking about one of the tough guys in the NBA. He's not going to care. He likes the contact.
I've seen CYO games with more contact than that play.
That's a flagrant in the CYO, that's for sure.
You know, see, I'll tell you, do they even have flagrant fouls in CYO? No. Of course not.
Hamilton will go to the line as Posey picks up his first.
When it's rescinded, what good does that do to Boston Celtics?
Well, let's see if it's rescinded. Hamilton knocks.
Has influence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. I always thought that as I was getting fined.
They want a lot of free throws here for the Pistons. And they're up by 3, their largest lead in the first half. Hunter with another steal. Alley-oop. Maxiel on the finish. Lindsey Hunter, it seems every time he comes in the game, he steals the ball right away.
So you have to have somebody else bring it up, though.
Hunter putting on great ball pressure. Garnett. Travel. Shuffle his pivot foot. And that's now 8 turnovers for Boston.
You see the ball pressure of Lindsey Hunter. Good strip and then recognition upstairs to McDyess on Maxiel, the big-time finish. And it forces Doc Rivers to bring Rondo back in the game to eliminate the pressure of Lindsey Hunter.
You see, the bottom line is their guard play has just not been good enough. From Ray Allen to Rondo to Cassell, it's just not been good enough. Who do you play?
Another alley-oop and another foul on P.J. Brown. He's a little frustrated as Maxiel has made his presence felt from the moment he stepped on the floor. Eddie F. Rush tells Doc Rivers, go back to your bench.
Well, again, this is a good roll by Maxiel. Good play.
Crowd looked at the replay, they didn't like it. Maxiel had that big game 4, 6 for 6 from the field.
So I have a question for you. If he would have fallen down, was that flagrant?
No.
That's the same exact play that P.J. Brown just made on the break.
I don't think it's the same play.
Stopping Maxiel from getting the basket at the rim.
Mark, one thing I always respect about you, when you're wrong, you just come out and say you're wrong. Unfortunately, the man to my left just can't muster that up.
He's like Fonzie. You remember when Fonzie said, he couldn't get out, I was wrong. Just say I'm wrong.
That's a good point. And for you kids out there, that's a happy day.
31-25. Detroit by 6, 2.5 gone by here in the second. Pistons defense picking it up again. Excellent double teaming and a foul and a sarcastic cheer from the crowd.
But this was very important that the Celtics remain poised. You cannot just continue to foul. Adjust to the way the game is being called. Here, the Pistons do a great job. Maxiel, good solid trap. I don't see a foul there. I don't see a foul there. That's a good defensive sequence by Detroit. A great rotation by Lindsey Hunter.
And Maxiel with 3 fouls will sit down. He's been a real spark coming off the bench. Had a little stretch here. He wasn't playing a lot. Last several games, though, a huge impact. Shot clock down to 5. Rondo, nice feed. Brown, they're going to wave it off. A 3-second violation as P.J. Brown was camped out. And that's the 9th turnover for Boston. And we haven't even played 15 minutes yet.
But you see what Flip Saunders is doing. He's saying, hey, Lindsey Hunter, you don't have to defend Rondo. I want you to roam and create havoc. Doing exactly that. If you're Rondo, you have to get to a spot, catch, and make a play quick. You can't allow Lindsey Hunter to dictate the game on your offensive end.
Hunter doesn't play a lot of minutes, but he plays so well in a limited time out there. Garnett, the deflection. Theo Ratliff has come in for Maxiel. Feed inside, McDyess. And it's now an 8-point lead for the Pistons on 10 straight now.
Think about how tough a job it is for Lindsey Hunter. He said, I'm not going to play you all year long, but when it matters most, I'm going to put you in to do what you do best. He's ready and has had an impact.
Rondo, and they finally get off the slide and end the run.
And again, he has to find an open spot, like Mark said. Lindsey Hunter live off of Rondo, went to double Pierce. Pierce, good play. Rondo, good layup.
Hamilton, Ratliff. Hamilton inside. Good Celtic defense this time. Rondo with the steal. Here comes Boston, 4-on-2. Pierce ahead of the pack. Back to Garnett for the slam. And that awakens Garnett and the crowd. Flip Saunders wants a timeout to settle it down.
It starts on the defensive end. Rondo active, chasing down the loose ball off to the races. Theo Ratliff. Garnett says, excuse me, I have an appointment with the rim.
Kevin Garnett, the big slam. Celtics struggling offensively. Fell behind by as many as 8. They were just over 4 minutes gone by in the second. It's back to a 4-point game.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, brought to you by McDonald's and Universal Pictures' The Incredible Hulk, in theaters everywhere June 13th.
Welcome back to Boston for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 6, we'll have it for you on Friday night. Coverage starts at 7:30 with Kia NBA shoot-around. Pistons Celtics Game 6, tip-off shortly after 8:30 as we'll go back to the Palace. Meanwhile, Game 5 tonight here in Boston. Some interested spectators. Bill Belichick, who's been here quite a bit during the postseason. Once again, sitting by courtside. And Teddy Bruschi, which got a big jump out of the chair from Jeff Van Gundy. You love Bruschi.
Yeah, I mean, coming back from that medical issue, having a stroke, and coming back to play and play effectively.
Popular athlete here in Boston, as is Kevin Garnett. Right now, though, the Celtics down by 4. Stuckey and Hunter in the backcourt with Ratliff, McDyess, and Hamilton. Stuckey, and he's fouled. So a 3-guard offense right now for Detroit.
And Bruschi doesn't just hit hard. He holds the ball for Lucky, the mascot. Oh, that's great elevation by the Luckster.
Bruschi got a huge ovation. Getting him out onto the floor. Stuckey will now go to the line for 2. Stuckey, of course, has played some great minutes with Billups out with the injury.
And he has got great strength. Right there, he drove past Rondo. He got his shoulder by him and knocked him back. Again, Mark, you've talked about it. Rondo's got to keep that ball in front of him. Particularly, Stuckey's not a range shooter.
1 of 2 from the line.
Really can't talk enough about the impact that this Pistons bench has. Flip Saunders went to his bench, and those guys changed the game.
Blocking foul on Hunter. Hunter picks up his first, and the Pistons with their third team foul. Hunter, we said it last game. He's amazing at his age, the type of shape he's in, and still such a premier on-the-ball defender.
He has a defined role, and he plays to that role. He knows who he is, and he does a great job playing his role and accepting his role.
Pierce, and there's Hunter on his help defense. Ray Allen's going to check back in.
You look in that situation, Lindsey Hunt is the guy defending Rondo. As soon as the ball is released, he's ignoring him, getting ready to be in help position for Rip Hamilton against Pierce. He's not even paying attention to Rondo. Here's where Rondo has to look to make a play. Either pass and cut through, or put the ball on the floor and make a play.
Garnett has to put it up. Shot clock expiring, and he knocks it down.
And if I'm Flip Saunders, if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about playing Ray Allen, Posey, and Pierce together to keep everybody honest on the floor.
Ratliff on the follow. Off the penetration. Ratliff left open, and it's back to 5 for Detroit.
That's a big-time play by Ratliff, but the smalls for the Celtics have to keep a body on the big bodies of the Pistons.
And a foul away from the ball. Ratliff upset. Ratliff arguing with Mike Callahan. So he picks up his first. Pistons with their 14th foul. Ratliff getting limited duty in his second stint with the Pistons. Former draft pick with Detroit. Led the NBA in block shots for a number of years. Injuries have hurt him over the past several years.
I think right now, if you're the Celtics, realize that now the Pistons are in the penalty. So you have to be aggressive with the basketball and use their aggressiveness and intensity against them. Look to get to the line.
Garnett, hot step. Bank shot won't go. P.J. Brown kept it alive, and Garnett comes right back. Intangible play from P.J. Brown.
And Stuckey, who's not yet have enough experience to be a great help defender, followed Rondo to the weak side, which gave Garnett more room to maneuver on his initial post move.
Prince inside. And Pistons getting some good looks. As Tayshaun Prince with his second field goal. Allen lost the ball, was going to hand it off to Rondo, knocked out of bounds. And another sloppy play from the Celtics. That's their 10th turnover. Allen looking at Rondo, but that wasn't a smart play with a defender right on him.
Not taking care of the basketball, very careless and lethargic on the offensive end. That's inexcusable, but give credit to the Pistons defense. They're not just taking punches, they are delivering punches and creating havoc.
They were swarming in Game 4, doing not more of that here in Game 5 again. Prince wants the ball. We're going to post up Pierce. Backs in. Good help from Rondo to strip it. Ball gets to McDyess. Back out Stuckey. 2 on the shot clock. And Perkins the rebound. Already in double figures. Allen to the basket. Celtics haven't had a lot of easy looks. They need more of those.
And that was a great outlet pass by Perkins and a good kick ahead by Rondo.
Still Pistons ball. And Stuckey knocked to the ground. Kendrick Perkins, 10 points and 10 rebounds. And as you say here, a good outlet pass, Jeff.
Tremendous. Didn't hold on to it. Outlet it. One dribble by Rondo to the struggling Ray Allen. Getting him a layup, which is so important. Getting out wide. Very good execution of the fast break by the Celtic guard.
Boston shooting 54% from the field, but they still trail thanks to those 10 turnovers. The NBA cares about the community. This season, the teams, along with current and former players, visiting children's hospitals around the country to visit kids and their families that are having their various struggles. Players spending time speaking with the kids, posing for pictures, and just being there for them. Doing what they can do to try and lift the spirits So many of the brave young kids who are going through some rough times. The NBA, where caring happens. Back here in Boston, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Pistons leading 38-35. They split the first 4 games. And right now, some of the numbers through the first 4 games. That loss in Game 4 of the Celtics, again, they struggled offensively. That's why, Jeff, as we said, they need to get some of those turnovers to get them some easy baskets, because both teams, their half-court defense is very difficult.
Tremendous half-court defense by both teams.
Phillips bumped out of bounds. Still Piston ball, 16 on the shot clock. Inside, and Hamilton puts it in. Somebody lost his man on that inbound pass. Ray Allen with a perplexed look.
Detroit does a great job executing baseline out of bounds. We saw the curl in Game 2 that got him a layup late. Same similar set, different ending.
Pierce's foul before the block shot. And he'll go back to the line.
Well, they bring Chauncey Billups off to the corner. Pierce protecting the corner. Ray Allen gets screened in a delayed screen, the screener type of action. So Pierce's job in Boston's scheme is to take away the corner. But then Kevin Garnett's got to protect the basket for a count. But he's so worried about Rasheed Wallace's 3 that he hugs his man and opens up the layup.
Well, the problem is when the Celtics are locked in defensively, they are able to do both of those things because they're lackadaisical on the defensive end, no commitment, and you give up easy laying for Hamilton.
Pierce's numbers is that foul on Wallace, his second personal. Only player in foul trouble here in the first half, Maxio, who picked up 3 quick ones as Pierce misses the free throw. Celtics, both teams have been shooting so well from the line, but the Celtics just 5 of 8. Quick shot. A lot of room there to shoot.
Well, in the first quarter, they were defending that by playing on top of Richard Hamilton, and they defended it well. That time, Ray Allen, a missed scheme assignment and got screened.
And another foul off the ball. McDyess ball for his second personal. And the Pistons in the penalty.
Ray Allen in the first quarter is playing on top of Hamilton, so he couldn't come up clean to that free throw line area.
And what he was looking to do is cheat the screen. He was looking to go in between the screeners. You got to keep a body on Rip Hamilton and look to fight through.
And there's Garnett, good early numbers. Garnett throughout these playoffs, he's led this team in scoring 10 times. He's led them in rebounding 14 times. He's even led them in assists 3 times. Of course, he leads them in defense night after night. Those the overall postseason numbers. Finally back into getting some playoff games. His teams in Minnesota missed the playoffs the last 3 years. He was so emotional before Game 1 of the opening round against Atlanta.
Well, and when we start putting numbers up, we should start putting defensive numbers up. Blown by 5 times. Missed help 4 times. Because the Celtics right now, whatever their individual offensive numbers are, their defensive numbers aren't even close.
Un-Celtic-like. Hamilton misses. Wallace tips it out. Prince able to get it.
I think anytime the Pistons want to get the ball in the hands of Rip Hamilton, they will get a wide open look the way he uses screen.
Prince down to Wallace. Perkins guarding in. Wallace sees the shot clock down the other end of the floor. Takes his time, that high release. And Kevin Garnett grabs another rebound, his 5th. Allen to Rondo. Rondo, Garnett. Sidesteps inside to Perkins. Perkins shot partially blocked. Wallace got a piece of it. Ball still loose. Rondo puts it up, rushed it. And it's knocked out of bounds. Still Boston ball.
But Rondo was wide open initially to shoot it. Threw it to Garnett. Garnett was wide open. To me, you've got to take the open shot.
And you like the unselfish play, but
sometimes the most unselfish play is taking the open shot.
Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Pierce for three. That's good. Paul Pierce now with 12 points, and the Celtics back within one.
You know, sometimes as a point guard, you have to read the play. And if I'm Rondo, I'm reading Paul Pierce's body language right now and getting him involved offensively.
Garnett guarding Billups. Rondo right now is on Rasheed Wallace. Billups from way downtown. And Rondo the rebound. Allen for three. Bang! Celtics back in front.
Great job by Rondo, searching out Ray Allen in transition, and a great adjustment by the Celtics to switch to Billups, Rasheed Wallace, high pick and roll.
Celtics on an 8-0 run, and that's that transition three by Allen that you talked about. Ball was deflected, so it's still Piston ball. He gets a lot of his points that way, Jeff, but it hasn't been there in the last couple of rounds.
Well, he's already got 2 transition threes tonight, and you've got to give credit to Rajon Rondo by finding him early so he can get a rhythm, space, and knocks it in.
Rondo has 7 assists, and perhaps more importantly, getting Ray Allen going a little bit. Allen 3 of 6 from the field. He's got 8 points. 3 other Celtics in double figures. Meanwhile, with 2:58 remaining here in the second, Celtics, after trailing by 8, are back up by 2. Celtics on a run, just under 3 minutes remaining here in the second. They're back up by 2. Time for our Coors Light pool tracks. And Celtics need Ray Allen. He got himself going a little bit here in the first half.
And he did it in transition. Very difficult to guard the transition 3 against a hard push. Give Rondo credit for pushing it, finding Ray Allen, and then again, pushing it, advancing it to him, allowing him into a rhythm. Ray Allen 2 for 2 from the 3-point line.
Allen in game 2 had that 25-point game, and they thought, okay, he's out of his slump. But then the next 2, shot 7 of 24, including 1 of 9 from 3-point range. However, much more, at least looks much more comfortable in this game, Mark.
So doing a great job of running ahead of the pack and Rondo advancing the basketball. So he's putting himself in a position to catch and shoot.
Billups with 4 on the shot clock. Can't get it to go, and Perkins now with 11 rebounds. He's got a double-double here in the first half.
And the thing that has kept the Celtics in this ball game and allowed them to get the lead 25-9 advantage on the board. Rebounding.
Pierce to the basket. Prince stripped by Rondo. Puts it up. Bank shot. Won't go. Perkins on the tip. Kendrick Perkins having an incredible first half. 10 straight points now for Boston.
He keeps playing like this, he's going to earn a nickname. We got to get him a nickname. PK or KP.
Let's think about it before we throw it out there. Hamilton. Stolen by Pierce. Pierce to the basket. Blocked from behind by McDyess, and then a foul. So Pierce will shoot 2. He's slow to get up. They're able to block the shot clean, but after the release, Pierce still up in the air, and that's where the contact was. He's apparently okay. With a smile.
Hand in the passing lane, comes up with the steal, and then puts his head down. Good job of trying to finish. McDyess, the block shot, but contact on the body, forcing Pierce down.
You rarely see that called in the NBA, where they get it clean up top, and after the play is finished, where the player who shot it has landed, then calling the foul. I think that is a missed call right there.
Well, Pierce, meanwhile, who started it with the defensive play. We were talking to him before the game, and both you guys have been raving about his defense throughout these playoffs, and we asked him about it, and his comment was, hey, I feel I've been a top 10 defender throughout my career. He says my offense overshadows my defense, and quite frankly, we've played on some bad defensive teams. He thinks he's always been a very good defender.
Come back to me, Paul. No, he probably been better than we probably haven't noticed. When you're on a bad team, no one notices anything. It's the hardest thing to convince a player on a bad team. If you score a lot, no one cares, no one notices. Play on a winning team, and everybody notices every good thing about you.
I will give him credit this. He could be the best defender in the postseason so far.
Wow. Ray Allen, meanwhile, arguing on that call. Allen trying to fight through the screens. He feels there. Come on, let's let that go. He's trying to plead his case to Mike Callahan.
But what you can't do if you're Ray Allen in that situation is allow Rip Hamilton to go both ways. Your job is to sit on one shoulder and force him one way, trusting the help on the opposite side.
Oh, I love that. How many times was that told to you, my good man to my right? Give him one way to go. You can't let him dictate.
I was taking notes.
Why didn't you ever put it into practice then?
It didn't matter then. I was preparing for this moment.
Oh, okay.
Hamilton 1 of 2. Perkins with his 13th rebound of the first half, and we still have a minute and a half remaining. Here's Garnett. Rondo, 2 on the shot clock. Garnett's going to have to force it up. Just gets it off. Banks it in! Garnett from downtown as the shot clock expires.
But once again, hate to harp on it. Rondo has to shoot that basketball. Garnett bailed him out, but Rondo has to be aggressive.
A minute remaining in the first half. Wallace has already hit 3 threes. Make it 4. Rasheed Wallace comes back with a big shot.
The problem is, with all that action inside, Kendrick Perkins switched and got on Wallace, and then they ran into a high pick and roll, and he had a hard time closing out.
Rondo closes that one out. And the Celtics back up by 6. Hamilton throws it to Prince. Actually, between Prince and Billups, Prince the one to get it. Hamilton off the dribble to the basket. Block! Perkins with the rejection. Hamilton and Perkins yapping at each other coming up the floor. The officials don't see it. Pierce's shot won't go. And Billups the rebound. They were behind everybody, including the refs. Otherwise, you may have seen a double technical. Don't forget, coming up the Toyota halftime show, Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon analyze the first half. And the story behind Rip's mask become superstition. Shot clock down to 3. Hamilton doesn't realize it. Not going to get it off in time. And a 24-second violation.
That was a poor play by Billups. He had a switch with Kendrick Perkins on him. He's got to take it and create a shot.
Celtics will have 1.9. And Doc Rivers will use his 22nd timeout. Now they put a couple of tenths of a second back up. It's 2.2. So Rivers will call timeout to set up a play. Plenty of time to get off a decent shot. The Boston Celtics turning it around here late in the second. Shot clock expiring. Garnett in a bad spot. Has to just hoist it up, and he banks in the 3.
Get a lot of choice for a little cash. Change for a change and you get it fast. And only $79.89. And only $79.89.
Indy is #1. It's great to have you back, Dr. Jones.
Always glad to help.
And critics and audiences are cheering.
Get on!
It's a non-stop thrill ride adventure.
Come on!
Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace going at each other. Both in double figures scoring. Wallace hitting 4 3-pointers here in the first half. Garnett with a strong game, but really the story in the first half for Boston is Kendrick Perkins.
That's the amazing thing. You talk about Garnett and Wallace, but the best big man on the floor the first half has been Kendrick Perkins.
Perkins with 12 points and 13 rebounds here at halftime. He also had that terrific block shot just moments ago that ignited a fast break.
They just called a delay of game on Garnett for having a shirt tail out.
Posey fires it to Garnett. 3-pointer at the buzzer. And it comes up short. But a strong finish here in the second quarter for the Boston Celtics. They trailed by as many as 8 in the second period. but a 14-point turnaround that ends with a 16-4 run. Perkins just magnificent in the opening half, and he's with Michelle.
Thank you, Mike. 13 rebounds, more than the entire Pistons roster combined. How have you been so effective on the glass?
Well, I'm just being active. You know, they're doubling and helping off of Rondo and myself, so I'm just finding an open gap and getting rebounds.
Talk about the block shot just here toward the end that set off the fast break.
I just, you know, we talked about it in the film that I got to be alert on the weak side, and so I just came out just trying to be physical tonight.
Thank you, Kendrick.
All right.
Mike.
All right, Michelle, during the regular season and the playoffs, he averages 6 points, 6 boards a game, does a solid job. He's double those numbers here in the first half of pivotal Game 5. Coming up the Toyota halftime show with Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon to analyze the first half. And a little story behind Rip Hamilton's mask. We'll also be joined by former Mavericks coach Avery Johnson, all coming up on the Toyota halftime show. Series tied at 2 games apiece. They've gone out at these two teams. Very physical series. More the same here in the first half. And after 2 quarters, it's Boston with a 6-point lead.
Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show.
As they say down south, Kendrick Perkins is a fully grown up man. Ridiculously strong first half. 12 points, 13 rebounds. Celtics by 6 at halftime. Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show. Stuart Scott, Michael Wilbon, John Barry, and our man Avery Johnson. Celtics ended the first half on a 16-4 run. Avery, you said before the game that Rajon Rondo had to be one of the big 4. He only has 4 points, but how has he shown that he has stepped up?
Well, Stu, the main thing is he's being aggressive. Now, I know he's missed a few layups, but he has 8 assists. He's 2 for 8 from the field, but one of those baskets tipped it in, and that's what was contributed to him having a really good first half. So Rondo is aggressive. Keep passing the basketball, but don't just look to pass, look to score first.
You guys mentioned Kendrick Perkins. How much does it surprise you that this guy's having a beast of a first half?
12 points and 13 rebounds, Stuart. And also, we're talking about taking 9 shots. I mean, being aggressive. We talked about Kevin Garnett and how many shots he would take. Kevin Garnett's got the 3rd highest shot total on his team after the first half. Perkins has been a monster. Like, all of a sudden, he decided, okay, that's it. I'm tired of the Pistons. I'm going to go to work.
This is conference championship basketball. I mean, this is, the stars have shown up. KG, 15. Paul Pierce, 13. Ray Allen, couple of 3-pointers. Wallace, 4 3-pointers for Detroit. Billups, Hamilton playing well. I mean, this is conference championship basketball, and then you get a guy like Kendrick Perkins that you maybe not expect to do what he's doing. Double-double, dominant force. I mean, we are in store for a heck of a second half. Great Boston run to end that half.
2 things surprised me here. The Boston bench has not scored, but that's in part because the starters have played so well. You're not waiting around for your reserves and your role players tonight. The other thing, the rebounding. The Celtics have out-rebounded the Pistons. I've never heard of a number like this. 28-11. When do you get that kind of rebounding effort to out-rebound the other team? Surprise, it's close with that number.
Both teams are jacking up the threes much better than they did. Halftime of Game 4, the teams combined were like 1 for 9 from three-point land. Right now, the Pistons and the Celtics combined from three-point land are 9 of 14. If you think the second half is not going to be riveting, go ahead, turn your channel now. I wouldn't if I were you. Still ahead, though, on the Toyota Halftime Show. Who is that masked man? You will not want to miss the inside story of Rip Hamilton and the secret behind his mask. Not that one, the one he wears. You won't want to miss it. Stick around.
The Toyota Halftime Show is brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward.
Truckers told us to give them a heck of a truck. Told us not to pull any punches. So we gave them a big engine, big towing, big frame, and big brakes. What'd we get out of it? A big old pat on the back. The 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Toyota Tundra. The truck that's changing it all.
Weak side, low post, you see what I'm talking about? In the basketball game of life, turn to Old Spice, the official antiperspirant of the Flint, Michigan tropics. Buy a stick now and I'll throw in a medium soda. Free t-shirt, rack of lamb, small realistic looking baby. What else? 12 wallet-sized photos of me. Offer valid through November 1977. Old Spice. Put it in your armpits.
Fact is, sports fans are switching to DirecTV because they have hands down the most sports in HD. What we need is a distraction. Wow! Look who's right on time. Anywhere between 10 and 2, it's Cable's Bikini Installers.
This is crazy.
I know. How has no one thought of this yet?
No gimmicks, just more TV for your money. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. Never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
Alex Klein is a real Geico customer, not a paid celebrity. So to help tell his story, we hired that guy who does those funny sound effects.
My car was totaled over 1,000 miles from home. So I called Geico. And in less than 10 business hours, I got a check for a new car.
Geico, real service, real savings.
The adventure continues. In theaters, Indy is back. But on the court, the quest for the NBA championship is now.
Get on!
Fearless rivals clash.
Put your hands down when you're embarrassing us.
Prepare to be amazed.
Faster! Move!
Indiana Jones in theaters everywhere. The NBA Eastern Conference Finals now playing on ESPN and ABC.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show. The focus of the sports nation for the NBA fan is right here in Boston, where it's not the Lone Ranger or Zorro, it's Rip Hamilton. If we ever wear a mask, for most of us, it's once a year on Halloween. A mask kind of renders your true identity anonymous, which is, in a way, what Rip Hamilton is. Forever running around, by, and through picks. Forever looking for an open spot. Forever catching elbows and forearms in the face, which is why he wears a mask in the first place. He shattered his nose a few years ago, making it necessary for the guy with the lowest scoring average among team scoring leaders to wear his mask 100 or so nights a year. Greg Garber has the story of the man behind the mask.
Hey, what's up? It's Richard Hamilton, and this is my mask. First time I broke my nose, they wanted me to wear the mask. I said, no way. I broke my nose again. No way. Rip, wear the mask. No way, I'm not wearing the mask. Then the third time, I was like, man, I'm sick and tired of getting surgery. Rip, wear the mask. Let me try it.
March 10th, 2004. The Detroit Pistons' Richard Hamilton dramatically altered the face of his game.
It felt difficult at first because it was hot, it was sweaty. I'm like, man, there's no way I'm taking this thing off. I want to throw it down. I want to break it.
It's hot, it's sweaty, yeah, we all know that. But the bottom line is you have to be comfortable with it. It doesn't interfere with your play.
Bill Laimbeer's old mask was terrible.
Bill Laimbeer's mask?
This one right here is a work of art. You know why it's a work of art? Because I just don't wear the mask. I throw the headband over it. So I put a little bit of style to it.
Clearly, masks can make the man. Style, however, is in the eye of the beholder.
I'm a bad boy, now I'm the bad guy. Darth Vader, holla at your boy. You don't know the power of the dark side. Now I need my sword.
I compare Rip Hamilton to Seabiscuit, a little skinny horse that could. Go, Biscuit, go!
Instead of throwing my webs, I'm doing this. I mean, come on, coach. I've been running, gosh. I mean, Chauncey, pass me the ball. I'm open, gosh. I might scare a lot of kids at home, so I can't do this one at all. Where are the lambs, Khalees?
How about I take out your liver and eat them with some fava beans and a bottle of candy?
And so, the mask that Richard Hamilton first wore to protect a weakness has evolved into an enduring symbol of strength.
Won the championship. It's kind of been, hey, this is what I am, this is who I am.
Now to this day, you know, this is my cape. This is my superhero thing right here. So this is why I wear my mask.
As entertaining as it gets, Rip Hamilton, 9 points, 4 assists at recess. His Pistons are down, but beware, Rip shoots 59% in the second half. Fans, let your voice be heard. Log on to ESPN.com, search Sports Nation.
I trust you. I know you're going to win, but you got to believe it. And you got to stay together when things aren't going right or something's not going right for you or whatever it is. Take advantages of what we have, all right? It doesn't matter what they do, guys. Keep dominating that glass.
Things weren't going right for a while there for the Celtics. Fell behind by 8, but finished strong in that second quarter. The domination on the glass, a part of that down the stretch. Here at Game 5 halftime, first half stats presented by AT&T. The number that really sticks out is on the glass, 28-11. Also fast break points. Celtics finally getting some opportunities in the open floor. That half-court defense of the Pistons has been so tough. Welcome you back to Game 5 here at halftime, along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. We'll check in with Michelle Tafoya in just a moment. Certainly what we expected, more physical play. Like the way both teams had some struggles, then bounced back immediately. But the story of that first half individually was a guy named Perkins.
12 points, 13 rebounds, and with all due respect to Chris Paul, he's earned the nickname KP43. He dominated. He out-rebounded Detroit by himself. Here, nice touch pass from Garnett, finding open areas. Here, using his physicality, rebounding, good right-hand jump hook, and then clearing space to rebound the ball in traffic. Doesn't have great elevation, but he does have great length, coming over there to block Rip Hamilton's shot, and then letting him know it's KP43's house.
And you see already a career high in rebounds. He's 2 points shy of career high in playoff points. What a performance from young Perkins right from the start. Meanwhile, our Gatorade Cooler Talk is all about getting some easy opportunities with this great half-court defense by both teams.
You give the Pistons credit. You're talking about using leverage. Rip Hamilton pull back, gets the leverage, too much airspace if you're Ray Allen. Rip Hamilton able to step into a rhythm jump shot. Rondo gambling against Phillips. You gamble, you must pay the price. Wide open jump shot. You cannot leave a shooter wide open. Phillips makes him pay the price. And then Rasheed Wallace. Anybody home? Is there anybody home? Big time shooter, as easy as it gets.
Wallace coming alive from downtown for Flip Saunders. Let's check in with Michelle.
Yeah, Mike, I just spoke with Flip Saunders, and he did mention the fact that they haven't allowed Boston's bench to score at all. But for him, it came down to one word, and you guys have mentioned it, rebounding. He said that's all you need to know. We're doing everything else great, but we're getting beat so badly on the boards, and we're giving them too many opportunities, and eventually that's going to wear us down.
That certainly offset the early turnover problems that the Celtics were having.
Pat Riley used to always tell our teams, no rebounds, no rings.
Turnover for Billups. And for the Pistons, that's number 9. Pierce. And a foul away from the ball. This one's going to go, I believe, against Wallace. Nope. My mistake. That's Hamilton is first. There, I said it. I said I was wrong.
That's a shock. You see, neither one of us responded. We're still in shock.
But it was a good call by the ref. Rondo looking inside, finding Perkins. Perkins again. 14 points on 7 of 10 from the field.
I mean, this guy's playing unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, the performance that Perkins is putting on.
And this is the largest lead for the Boston Celtics. Pistons had an 8-point lead at one point. Hamilton inside. McDyess. Boy, they're just banging each other around, and an offensive foul call. The physical play continues as Hamilton quickly picks up his second. Let's take a look. After the pass, Pierce standing in there drawing the charge.
Once again, Paul Pierce coming over in help position, taking a hit from Rip Hamilton. That's outstanding help defense.
Pierce defense, again, has been a topic throughout these playoffs. Nice pass to Pierce, and he puts it in. Beautiful feed from Garnett. Timeout as we have our first double-digit lead of the night.
And these fans here recognize quality basketball. Little good old-fashioned bounce pass on point to Pierce from KG. Celtic fans love it.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab a beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
ESPN's coverage of NASCAR continues Saturday with NASCAR Nationwide Series race from Dover presented by DAP on ESPN2. Coverage against 2:30 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. 10-point lead for the Celtics. This one's been a roller coaster ride. Last game 4, Pistons led wire to wire. Teams exchanging lead as we have a whistle. And a defensive 3 seconds against Boston, so a one-shot technical. So Hamilton will go to the line. And the Pistons won game 2 here to even the series. Celtics came back and won. Celtics have won every single game, what you call swing games. They've never trailed in a series, so they've always won games 1. Of course, in this one, after it was tied at 1 apiece, they won game 3. They've won all the big game 5s. They've won their 2 game 7s. As Wallace's shot won't go. And right now with a 9-point lead.
When the Celtics get a rebound, Mike, don't even announce who gets it unless it's somebody other than Perkins, because he's getting every rebound right now.
Garnett. Perkins, another rebound. That's 15. And the shot. Kendrick Perkins having one of the nights of his career. 11-point lead. 16 points, 15 boards. Both playoff highs. The young man from Beaumont, Texas. Prince able to hit. And Prince comes back. By the way, if you're wondering what the NBA playoff record is for most rebounds in a game, Wilt Chamberlain had 41 as Garnett knocks down the shot. Guy named Bill Russell had 43 times, so Perkins has the ways to go, but what a performance he's putting on.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Perkins won't break the record. It's just a hunch.
Hamilton. Billups gets himself some room. Can't hit the 3. I'd like to say Pierce got the rebound, but I'm not allowed.
No, you can. But when Perkins gets it, you don't have to say it. Because it's just assumed that he's getting every rebound.
I got you. 4 fouls on McDyess.
Well, hey, you get offensive rebounds, you earn the right to go one-on-one. Perkins with diversifying his game, going with the fadeaway, and then taking the long jog up the sideline. It's like a home run trot.
And this is where, you know, afterwards, reporters ask you had the whole package going, even offensively. The person you say, hey, it's nothing new. I know I could do this all season long. I've been waiting for my number to be called.
He's only 23 years old. Again, one of those players right from high school to the NBA. He's never put up big numbers. Just a solid rebounder and defender. Having a great night so far. Wallace pokes it out of bounds. Shot clock is down to 7. Came from a very successful high school program. Ozen High School in Beaumont. His teams were 96-3 while he was in high school. Got used to winning. Came to Boston. And unfortunately for him, started to get used to losing until this season. Garnett going against Ratliff. McDyess on the bench with the 4 fouls. Garnett puts it in. And the lead is ballooned to 13. It always seems when an unlikely person steps up and has a huge game, the crowd gets into it a little bit more. And this crowd is fired up with the player Perkins. Wallace, quick shot. Hits another 3. That's his 5th three-pointer of the game.
But that was well defended. Rondo did a good job veering back into a switch. He just Wallace just shot over the smaller Rondo.
Pierce looking for Garnett, who's doubled. Perkins is open. Kicks it out to Rondo. Rondo up for the layup. Blocked by Ratliff. Perkins passed open shot that time.
Well, made the right play to Rondo, but Rondo has to be ready to catch and shoot. Really took it back into the trees.
Phillips with the jump shot. And 5 quick points for the Pistons.
And Perkins is not used to playing this many minutes. He stayed out of foul trouble. He's played more minutes. This is usually the number of minutes he plays in a game. About 25, 26. He's already played that. Be interesting to see if he has the energy to continue.
Ray Allen answers with another 3. His 2nd one of the game.
Play made by Rondo. Dribble penetration, forcing himself to be defended, and then finds Ray Allen.
Ratliff lost it, but a foul. And Garnett says it was me. That's his 2nd.
This is off of Rondo being aggressive. Looks to get a paint touch. Ray Allen does a good job of roaming to the open spot. And then Rip Hamilton too late, can't be there to contest. Allen another dagger.
So Ratliff is going to get these minutes now because of the foul trouble to McDyess. Allen gets the bucket because Rondo has a brick, has 10 assists. Now, Rondo's been a subject of a lot of debate. He's had some real struggle games. He's had some pretty good moments as well. You know, we talk a lot about what he doesn't do, but when he's aggressive, some good things happen for this team.
Well, hey, you can't argue. 10 assists is a lot of assists. He's done a good job. He just has to continue to work on his game so that he feels confident in shooting the ball when they double off of him.
He's like one of those players where one game you'll watch him and you'll say, he might be a little underrated. Next game you watch him and say, oh, he's overrated.
And Dr. has talked about the thing he loves about this young man. He's a good listener. He will come after a bad game or a good game, listen to Dr. as a guy that has had experience of playing the point guard position and try to instill those things into his own game.
That foul on Rip Hamilton, his 3rd. 3 team fouls. And Ray Allen hits a 3. Back-to-back 3-pointers for Ray Allen. He's got 14, and the lead is 14.
If you're Rip Hamilton, you have to talk to Rasheed Wallace. You have to be on top of that screen. You can't allow Ray to get a wide-open look off the pick and roll.
Prince, a wide-open look. Now Garnett comes to contest it, and Prince can't hit it. Allen the rebound. Here come the Celtics. Allen wanted it. He was open for 3, and Pierce didn't see him. Perkins feeling his oats, and he's called for a travel. Boy, he is jacked up tonight.
Well, this was a good swing of the ball by Rondo. Very good screen by Perkins. And as Mark said, Wallace has to get up to prevent that 3-point shot and make Allen drive the ball.
Celtics from downtown, 6 for 8. And both teams were struggling from 3-point range until tonight. Phillips gets inside. Nice maneuver. And Chauncey Phillips with 12.
Again, another gamble by Rondo, trying for the steal, which led to an easy basket. And the Celtics' defensive intensity has dropped in the last 3 to 4 possessions.
Rondo trying to find some room. Dangerous pass, and Garnett foul on the entry pass. That's going to be Wallace's fourth. Make that his third foul. It is on Wallace. 14 foul. So 3 on Wallace, 3 on Hamilton, 3 on Maxio, and McDyess has 4. McDyess, who's been perhaps their most consistent player, gonna have to sit for a while. Crowd chanting Wallace, Wallace. He's one of those players so beloved in his hometown. The fans love him in Detroit, but one of the villains on the road. Rondo, Garnett. Allen looking for an opening. Back to Garnett. Kevin Garnett puts it in. Great look from Ray Allen.
What they're doing right now is an outstanding job of making plays for each other. Man movement, ball movement, dribble penetration, and finding the open man.
Celtics 8 of 10 from the field in this third quarter. Incredible shooting against this strong Piston defense. Garnett all over Prince. A little over aggressive, and that's his third. And for the Celtics, it's only their second team foul. We'll have timeout. Flip Saunders out, way out on the floor. Having something to say to both Mike Callahan and Kenny Maurer. Phillips as well. They've got to be careful. He wants a defensive 3 seconds. So Maurer calmly talking to him. Saunders will talk to his team. Celtics by 14 here, just past the midway point of the third.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, otherwise distributed, or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull brings you the adventures of the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Celtics rallied from 21 points down at home against the Nets to mount the greatest comeback in postseason history, led by 19 fourth-quarter points from Paul Pierce and a defensive game-saving block from Antoine Walker.
The adventure continues now.
5.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Back in 2002. A 21-point deficit to start the fourth. And what a performance it was right here in this building. The early years of the TD Bank North Garden. Paul Pierce was magnificent. Antoine Walker, remember the speech he gave prior to that? He got in Pierce's face and told Pierce, come on, we can come back, we can win. Pierce and Walker led them to one of the great comebacks in the history of the NBA. Pierce remembers back in 2002 how disappointed he was not making the NBA Finals. He's got a chance. They're 2 wins away. And right now, one of those games, they're up by 14. Maxio back in the game. Prince looking for Maxio. He has been a real spark. They're going to post up Perkins up and under, blocked by Perkins, and a 24-second violation. Perkins just keeps making plays.
I think the most excited person in the world right now should be Perkins' agent. The way that this guy is playing on both ends of the floor says to Maxio, not on my watch. Big time effort and energy from Perkins.
That's his second block of the game to go along with those 16 points and 16 rebounds.
And Detroit's gone into 1-2-2 half-court trap.
And a defensive 3 seconds call on Theo Ratliff. So a technical foul. Then you have to be within guarding distance of your man, arm's length. If you're going to play defense in the post for more than 3 seconds, your man moves out, you've got to get out too. And Allen, who's almost a gimme at the free throw line, although he did miss 2 in game 4, knocks that one down. The lead is up to 15.
One thing I would begin to look at if I'm Doc Rivers, I'd stay on top of Rondo as far as, are you fine? There's no need to take this young guy out of the ball game and allow the momentum to be turned by Lindsey Hunter on the bench of Detroit's freshman.
Allen misses. Maxio back to Prince. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the third. Ball deflected by Perkins. Who else? Garnett. Pierce for 3. And Maxill the rebound.
Those last two possessions where we've got a big lead type of possession, and that type of thinking can get you in trouble.
Hamilton. With double team, forcing a turnover. That's the 13th for Detroit. Allen to Pierce. Here's Rondo, back to Garnett. Garnett's jumper, knocks it down. 17-point game.
You know, you touched on something talking about those are rush plays, but if I'm Doc Rivers, I don't mind it as much because you still have your foot on the gas pedal. They are staying aggressive offensively.
Maxill, a jump shot. Can't get it to go, and here's Rondo. Rondo going to the basket, up and under, blocked. Ratliff throws it back. Starts the fast break for the Pistons, and Pierce mauls Billups. Wraps his arms around him. Billups goes down. They're not in the penalty, and I don't think they call it the act of shooting yet. Pierce making sure he's okay. Good sportsmanship from Pierce.
Not to belabor a point, but if this is not a flagrant and the foul in the first half is, then I just don't understand what it's all about.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's similar to the play that Marvin Williams made in the Atlanta series. The correct play, even though Pauls wasn't trying to hurt Billups. This is a flagrant.
It's certainly not a basketball play. I agree with you guys. This was from the first half on P.J. Brown.
I mean, there's a tackle on the second play. Yep. There's an armpit touch on the first play.
And again,
I don't think that was a flagrant either. I mean, I think the referees made the right call. I don't think that's a flagrant foul. But I'm just saying I don't understand the inconsistency in calling these plays. To me, it takes something blatant in the playoffs to be a flagrant foul.
Well, sometimes a lot, and you guys touched about this in the first half, sometimes a lot has to do with the way a guy lands and the reaction, because sometimes it happens so quickly. And that's why this year they put in on flagrant twos, they're always reviewed. Maybe they should put in a rule on all flagrant fouls to review it, not just flagrant twos.
To me, there should be flagrant two. There should be an ejection or nothing. If you think something's so bad, just kick the guy out of the game. If not, play on.
Ray Allen drives, puts it up. Shot won't go. Tried to tip it, gets it back. Ray Allen's so aggressive. And he's got 17 points.
I think it's scary when you and I agree. I start to question myself sometimes when we agree too much.
It's allowed to happen.
Well, we can agree right now. The Celtics aren't getting back in transition. Right there, again, two straight plays. You're playing the score if you're the Celtics. You're not playing the game. Believe me, their effort would have been better in transition if they were tie game or behind. And this is what gets you in trouble, this thinking about play sometimes, don't play other times. Here, they score. You should never get beaten down the floor. The Pistons aren't even running hard after a made basket. They just throw it up to Prince. I mean, that's just bad. That's just bad effort by the Celtics.
Prince hits the free throw. 15-point Boston lead, 3.5 remaining, third quarter here of Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston jumped out early. Pistons came back up by as many as 8. This third quarter has belonged to the Celtics, though, as they've led by as many as 17. Trying to take a 3-2 lead in this best-of-7 series. Rondo to the basket. Can't get it to fall, and Prince the rebound. Billups pulls up for 3. Knocks it down. Chauncey Billups with a clutch 3, and it's back to 12.
And really, that's the message that you're sending to Doc Rivers. Don't let them hang around. Making crucial mistakes when you can bury a team, you are giving them life.
And again, after all the struggles from three-point range in the first 4 games, both teams excellent from downtown. Ray Allen, the runner, banks it in. 19 for Allen. And he's got 11 of them here in the third quarter. Prince looking up at the shot clock. Down to 4. Prince going to have to make a play. Up to Stuckey. Stuckey on the drive. Pulls up and puts it in as the shot clock expires. For a young kid, he's got so much poise.
What I love about him, he doesn't care. He's playing the same way that he played in the regular season. Has no clue that he's in the Eastern Conference Finals. His future's awfully bright.
One of his teammates even said that. Said when he's out there in a big spot, it's like he's playing in the playground. He just looks like he's never nervous. And a foul called against Stuckey. So Stuckey picks up his first.
Ray Allen's had a superior night. Here, drives, catches, looks at the defense, beats the shot-blocking Ratliff to the rim, gets it up, goes off the wrong foot. Ray Allen got it on autopilot right now.
Allen again with 19 points, knocking down 4 3-pointers as the Celtics lead by a dozen.
What I say? 7 games above 500. And they said that was never going to happen. Kids all over America do not wear jerseys that say, I almost won. What's up, OnStar? Beep, beep, boop, beep, 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 boop. Destination World Championship. You know what I'm talking about? How about a little fist pump, man, huh? Oh, that's going to hurt when you have that diamond-encrusted ring that says champion. Okay, I understand. You got your game face on. Got to relax, get in the zone.
The Yukon Denali from GMC.
I understand. All right, this town needs a parade.
Engineering that happens when you never say never. Become the perfect weapon. Become Jason Bourne. The Bourne Conspiracy. Pre-order your copy now. Rated Teen.
This one's gonna be close. Are you kidding me?
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Dover on ESPN2. Coverage begins Saturday at 2:30 Eastern.
Coming up on SportsCenter, we'll head back to Boston. We got much more from Game 5. Plus, Red Wings, Penguins, Game 3. Manny, hey, one away from 500. And who or what will be the biggest distraction in Big D? SportsCenter after the game.
On this night, the champion is the one left standing. The winner draws first blood. The defeated leaves on a stretcher. And TLC is anything but tender. On this night, every match is Extreme Rules. WWE One Night Stand. Live Sunday, June 1st on DirecTV pay-per-view.
Hello, DirecTV has asked me to offer you an insider's look at many of the films on DirecTV pay-per-view. I'll share my insights about the story, the actors, well, about everything. Here's a look at some of the films I'll be reviewing for you this month.
There's a whole ocean of oil under our feet. No one can get at it except for me.
I dream that you will return to revisit the land of our childhood, and kites will fly in the skies.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Welcome back to Boston. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in the third. Celtics up by as many as 17. Now lead by 12. Time for our GMC game track. Kendrick Perkins, what a performance. 16 points, 60 rebounds, couple of block shots as well. He's been a force right from the opening tip. One of the great games of his young career. And Ray Allen, how about 4 3-pointers snapping out of his slump with some big shots for the Celtics. Meanwhile, Rasheed Wallace, the most points he has scored in this series. And they all come from downtown. Meanwhile, the Celtics in Game 4, all they did, they shot 32% from the field. Really struggled. Tonight, 54%. And ball movement a part of it, as you see with the 20 assists. Because they're in the penalty, Allen back to the line. Well, the Celtics had 75 points total in Game 4. They've already surpassed that, and they still have over a quarter to go. And Ray Allen, who had the 25-point game in Game 2, coming right back with a 21-point game here in Game 5 after really struggling in Detroit. We'll have another whistle. Celtics with the foul. Posey, his second. And the Celtics in the penalty.
Well, we've talked about this. In this situation, if you're the Celtics or the Pistons, realize that both teams in the penalty, you don't want to give up free shots. You don't want to allow guys to get to the line.
So Hamilton will go to the line. Garnett getting his rest. First is Game 5. Game 5 of the Western Conference tomorrow night. Game 4 ending in controversial fashion last night in San Antonio. This, of course, the final play. Brent Barry, who was magnificent last night. The contact with Fisher, no call was made, and the Lakers took a 3-1 lead. With just a short time ago, the NBA league office with an announcement that they reviewed the final play of that game and acknowledged that a 2-shot foul should have been called on Derek Fisher because they were in the penalty and should have been before the shot. And that's certainly not going to, as Ray Allen hits another three. Ray Allen red hot from downtown. And a lead back up to 15. Perkins with the steal. He got away with a foul there. Perkins hacked by Billups. As he went down, now Hamilton and Posey join. And they're going to probably get hit with double technicals. As the Celtics starting to take command here in the third. Now, Posey, what is it? You're up by 15 points and you're still drawing away. The last thing you want to do is ignite a team. That's just ridiculous.
Well, it's not ridiculous because what he's doing is he's getting the back of his big man. Felt like it was a hard foul by Billups in transition by Perkins. He's just returning the favor because this is what Perkins would do if Posey was the guy with the ball in his hands. You got to control everything and let it be known my big man will not be abused.
Perkins doing everything tonight and leading the break as well.
They might want to hit the delete button from that part of his game.
Lumbering down, but what a great performance for him. Meanwhile, just to quickly get back to the Lakers Spurs, what were your thoughts on the call last night or the no call, and then on the announcement today?
I give the league credit for basically manning up and saying a mistake was before the game, and every player agreed that's not a call. If you talk to the coaches, they agree that it should be a call, but I totally agree. Just play it through. If you're Brent Barry, get the contact.
See, my whole thing is, if the league would just acknowledge that we're going to officiate the last minute or two differently, then to me, that's no call. But if we're going to say that we're going to call foul minute 1 through minute 48 the same way, which I don't think is the right thing. I don't think the same call should be made in minute 48 as minute 1. You set the tone early in the game, but it has to be something significant to call a foul. So I think the referees were right not to call it last night, but I think they have to just say we're going to call it differently late in the game.
Stuckey pushes off on Ray Allen. Ray Allen making his presence felt in a number of ways.
When you talk about raising the stakes, you think Ray Allen has no business picking up Stuckey full court, but sending a message. The second contact is always called. Stuckey, the forearm to the neck of Ray Allen, giving his team the possession.
And just show you how the Pistons out of character. 7 turnovers here in this third quarter. They average just about 10 a game for the series. And an illegal screen set out of bounds by the Celtics, so that's a violation.
We're seeing all the calls tonight.
I'm going to give credit to Rondo for the first time all season long. For me, he's playing the point guard position. He is patient, waiting for sets to be ran, and trying to find Ray Allen in situations where there's multiple screens.
13 assists for Rondo.
No, I scratched it 2 for 11. I can care less about the shooting, but he is running this basketball team.
Hamilton is fouled. Perkins doesn't like the call, but he picks up his second. Celtics in the penalty.
And that's a foul. And as Kendrick Perkins, another step in his development is realize when you have a complaint and when you don't, but you got to maintain your credibility, because if you complain on every call, then we're going to have to take away his nickname.
Come on, KP43, you're better than that.
KP43 having the game of his life. As Hamilton hits Thursday on TNT, Western Conference Finals, Game 5, San Antonio down 3-1 at the Lakers. Bob Robin and Doug Collins will have the call. Coverage beginning at 9 Eastern with our friends at TNT. Then Friday, ESPN, Game 6 of this series back at the Palace. Coverage begins at 7:30 with our pregame. And then tip-off shortly after 8:30.
I got a problem with this friends at TNT. This is a playoff. There are no friends in the playoffs. We'll compete.
What's wrong with you?
It's war between me and Doug Collins.
P.J. Brown steps up. Can't get it to go. And Billups the rebound. Final minute of what has been a strong third quarter for Boston. Rondo fights over a screen. Billups blocked by Rondo. We talk so much about the big three, but Rondo and Perkins, the other two starters, have been superb tonight for the Celtics.
And you look at the block by Rondo, but Perkins put him in position to come up with the block, helping off pick and rolls, helping in situations because he's guarding non-scorers in Maxey and Rack.
10 on the shot clock. Hamilton. Boy, just so smooth. So Hamilton with 16 points.
Here's where Doc Rivers loves to put the ball in the hands of Rondo and spread the floor and trust that his young point guard will make a play.
Crowd getting on its feet. About a second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Rondo ball fake stripped by Billups. Nice play. And the Celtics will inbound with 5 on the 24. 6.4 left in the third. Eddie House is quickly going to check in. Lindsey Hunter will come in to defend him. Maxey will sit. Actually, Hamilton's going to guard House. Hunter will get on Ray Allen. Chance of Eddie. Celtic bench have not scored a point. They haven't played a lot of minutes, but Boston's bench has not scored. They've only taken 2 shots. And now they put some, see 3.3, it now says on the game clock. I don't know why it was changed. So Mike Callahan over there to making sure that it's all set. Flip Saunders curious.
6-1.
There's the official strike. 62 years of experience. That's our unnecessary referee stat of the night.
Don't say our, say yours.
Yeah, you got to own that by yourself.
All right. I'm going to get that sponsored. Now they have 6.4 with 5 left on the shot clock. That's what it was. So everybody's fine with it. Rondo will inbound. Ray Allen puts up a 3. Won't go. Hamilton the rebound. Stuckey looks up, feels he has a chance, fires it at the basket. And that's off the mark. That will end the third quarter. Boston Celtics with a terrific third period. Ray Allen coming alive. Another strong game for Garnett. And Perkins with the best playoff game of his young career. How about Ray Allen struggling all series long, really for the last 2 series. But he has erupted with 24 points, 5 3-pointers. And the Celtics shooting 53% from the field. We head to the fourth with a 13-point Boston lead.
So focus.
Back at the Garden, the Celtics lead by 13. Doc, in spite of the lead, or maybe because of it, a couple of sloppy plays in defensive transition. How do you clean that up?
Yeah, you know, the defensive transition was caused by bad shots on the other end. I thought we got a little shot happy, shot some quick threes when we really didn't need it. No floor balance. They get back and get quick shots. So we got to make sure we stay what we're doing offensively, and then the defensive transition will take care of itself.
I think this has happened in a previous game where you guys started to play the score instead of the game. How much of a concern is that?
It is, but we just got to play through it, and hopefully we learned the last time.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Mike?
And Michelle, that was game 3 in Detroit. They were up by 24 in the second half. Pistons made a rally, cut it to 9 several times in the fourth quarter before the Celtics head on. Now they've had a 17-point lead here in the third quarter that right now is 13 as we start the fourth. You see Perkins getting a much-deserved rest sitting there along the sidelines. Perkins and Ray Allen have been tremendous tonight. So it's Rondo, Ray Allen, Posey, Garnett, and P.J. Brown to start the fourth for the Celtics.
And I like the move by Doc Rivers, keeping Rondo in at the point guard position to keep Lindsey Hunter at bay with that ball play.
Allen stripped. And a jump ball, they call it. Rondo, by the way, has played all but 2 minutes. Here you see the big scoring numbers for the Celtics. Look at the shooting in that third quarter.
And I think if you're Doc Rivers, you can find time for Sam Cassell or Eddie House when Chauncey Billups or someone other than Lindsey Hunter is in the ballgame. The pressure really bothers those guys.
Rondo and Hamilton trying to find the spot. Ball tipped. Allen able to catch it as long as it was tipped before. By another teammate. Garnett, 3 on the shot clock, has to put it up, drops it in. Garnett with a hand in his face and a lead back to 15.
You think about it, that's the third time all night long that KG has beat the clock with long-range jump shots.
25 for Garnett, 24 for Allen. Wallace is at his best game of the series and knocks down another 3, his 6th of the game. All of his points have come from downtown. Hunter bumping Allen as he comes up the floor. Now you're going to see the trapping physical defense for the Pistons. Trying to force turnovers. Allen on the drive, falls down, lost it, and he's called for travel. He felt he got tripped.
Good recognition, realizing that the clock is dwindling down, takes a peek, and then the step-back jumper over Rasheed Wallace. And Paul Pierce says, that's getting it done by the big ticket.
Stuckey, Hamilton, and Hunter, 3 guards out there with McDyess and Rasheed Wallace. Hamilton nails it, and just suddenly it's a 10-point game again. As much as the Celtics were terrific in that third quarter, Celtics look a little uneven right now. Posey can't hit the 3. Hamilton the rebound. Ahead to Stuckey, deflected by Allen, and it's still going to be Piston ball. And Pierce will check back in for Boston. Allen's going to get a breather. And Allen gets a big ovation from the crowd. Hamilton making it look easy right now. He's got 20, and the lead, once 17, has been cut to 8.
And they are crushing them on baseline out-of-bounds plays. They're scoring every single time.
7 straight points to start this fourth quarter, and this building was rocking at the end of the third. It's got a little quiet. And Hamilton, hands all over. Posey for 3. Puts it in. And those are the first points from the Celtic bench. And they're now 8 for 13 from downtown.
And Stuckey makes the mistake. Flip Saunders talking to him on the way down the floor. The help comes off of Rondo, not Posey. You must make Rondo beat a score.
Offensive foul. And they call it on McDyess, his 5th.
And you see the double team by Lindsey Hunter looking to roam, comes over, gets the ball out of the hands of Paul Pierce. If you're Stuckey, your job is to stay at home with Posey, not to help off of Rondo. Make the ball find Rondo and make him beat us, says Flip Saunders.
Pierce with Hamilton all over him. Very aggressive defensively. Pierce knocked down, and they finally call a foul. Wallace, his 4th. So some foul difficulties for Detroit. 5 for McDyess, 4 on Wallace. Nobody on the Celtics has more than 3. Actually, nobody has more than 2. Pierce, Garnett, wide open look.
What Paul Pierce is doing right now is releasing the pressure of the Pistons defense, making plays out the post, out of isolation situations, and finding guys.
Hamilton for three. Chris Hamilton firing away. You mentioned it earlier, Jeff. In some ways, an underrated player. He's just lethal with that shot.
He is. He's got such good technique.
Rondo. Ball tips out of bounds. Let's see the call. It's going to be Detroit basketball. Hamilton's not a great three-point shooter. He's been struggling from three in the playoffs. Was very strong during the regular season. But he has just been clutch, as has Kevin Garnett been, for the Boston Celtics. Hamilton with 23. Pistons fighting back within 10.
How do you fight an enemy who hides among the innocent? Never let him out of your sight. With our unmanned surveillance aircraft, the U.S. Air Force is making sure potential threats have no place to hide. It takes Air Force vigilance to defend America in a changing world. U.S. Air Force, above all. Join us at airforce.com.
The incredibly fuel-efficient 4-cylinder Mitsubishi Outlander, now with $1,000 holiday bonus cash. Hop in. It's go time.
After drinking a vitamin water energy, LeBron James found the energy to try ruling another court. He's quickly become the most dominant defense attorney in the state of Ohio.
These documents show my client had nothing to do with this man falling down the elevator shaft, but I don't need him. Was Nikki versus Oregon proves that we are free from the tyranny of false accusation. Besides, objection! Dude's faking. I rest my case.
Vitamins, electrolytes, no sodium, vitamin water, try it.
When I lose control, it's very dangerous to be around me.
On June 13th, the Marvel superhero experience becomes incredible. The Incredible Hulk, rated PG-13.
We all want respect. You want it from your teammates, from the fans. You want it from other players. There's a million ways to get respect. But there's only one way to get the kind of respect that's undeniable. The kind they could never take away from you. What?
Welcome back to Boston in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Another hard-fought, tough defense, and emotion-filled game. These two teams, the best two teams in the East, the best two teams in the NBA record-wise in the regular season, battling again. But despite all the tough defense, both teams shooting extremely well. Guys making shots, both over 50% from the field. Wallace, another three. Short. And the rebound goes to Posey. Ahead to Rondo. Celtics getting big play from Rondo, Perkins, and Ray Allen, who has erupted with 5 3-pointers in this game. Bad pass. Posey throws it right to Hamilton. Here's McDyess. Perkins with a hard foul. And McDyess will shoot 2 as Perkins picks up his third. Allen in this series, 21% from downtown, but 5 of 6 tonight. He has been terrific. And they needed him. So McDyess to the line, and misses a free throw. Of course, Game 6 will be Friday night at the Palace of Auburn Hills. We'll have it for you on ESPN. Coverage starts 7:30 Eastern. Kia NBA shoot-around. And then tip-off from the Palace shortly after 8:30, where the Palace was on fire the other night. Place going crazy as the Pistons tied the series at 2 games apiece with a defensive clinic. Here tonight, though, the Celtics right now with the upper hand, but plenty of time to go. Pierce. Hamilton is right up on him. Pierce to Garnett. Pierce wide open 3. Perkins the offensive rebound, and he's fouled by Lindsey Hunter. So Hunter picks up his second team foul on the Pistons.
And I think if you're Flip Saunders, you have to begin to think about getting Chauncey Billups back into the ball game. The only reason to play Lindsey Hunter is because Doc Rivers goes with his backup point guards. When Doc decides to stay with Rondo, you might as well go back to your starting guy in Billups. Pierce
gets away from a double team. Another dangerous pass. Rondo wide open. Not even close. And it's the one thing he has struggled tonight. 2 of 13 from the field, but he has 13 assists and just 1 turnover.
And that's a good shot. That's an air ball, but that's a good shot. That's a shot you must take if you're Rondo.
Hunter misses. Pierce the board. Posey, wide open 3. And McDyess the rebound. Rebounding is 38-21 in favor of Boston. Big numbers as Stuckey tried to force it up. Here comes Rondo. But decides to take his time. Just over 5 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter. Celtics with a 10-point lead. They've been up by as many as 17 here in the second half. Rondo passes up the shot. Garnett throws it right to Stuckey. Again, passing up wide open shots. Hamilton to the basket and puts it in. And Doc Rivers needs a timeout. We've seen this time and time again. Both Rondo and Garnett passing up open shots, Jeff.
Right, Rondo was open first. Garnett was open second. Sometimes when you give up a really good look, it's very hard to get a better one. Rondo had it, Garnett had it. And again, both guys trying to do the right thing, but the right thing is shooting that open shot as Hamilton finishes at the other end.
3 turnovers last couple of minutes, and the Pistons back within 8.
I'm Stuart Scott with this Honda Studio update. A controversial finish to Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals last night. No foul called on Derek Fisher, making contact with Britt Berry in the final play of the game. Lakers hold on to win by 2 and take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 tomorrow night in L.A. Now back to Mike, Mark, Jeff, and Michelle.
Stuart, Game 5 in the East tonight in Boston, and right now the Celtics leading 91-83. All right, let's go down the stretch. Mark, if you're Boston, what do you need to do to hold on?
Well, trust your offense. Take care of the basketball. Be patient defensively. Make the Pistons work. But it's on the other end where they have to execute.
Jeff, how about Detroit?
Well, I think you have to decide if you're Flip Saunders when you're coming back with your starters or if you're coming back with your starters. And then it's creating havoc for some turnovers and making those turnovers go into good offense.
Ray Allen fouled on the pass. That was definitely a pass. The officials discussing it. No, they're going to overrule a travel. Kenny Mauer called the travel on the outside, and on the inside, Eddie Rush had called a foul.
And what forced that trouble was Lindsey Hunter rotating to Kevin Garnett. As you see, Garnett on a pick and pop.
That's the wrong call by Kenny Mauer. The foul came before Ray Allen landed back on the floor. Should have been a foul commitment, and the Celtics had the basketball.
That was a bad call. Stuckey inside. Shot won't go. McDyess tip doesn't go. Second one. Well, they're going to call a foul. It's on Perkins, and it's on the rebound. It's going to be a 2-shot foul on his first miss. That's why, as we send it to Michelle.
Well, during the last time out, you guys, Doc Rivers told his team, and I'm going to give you the G-rated version, calm down, number 1. Number 2, take shots when they're open. And number 3, play with composure. We're running around out there like we're nuts. We've got the lead. We've got the lead. Let's get into our stuff and let's execute.
A big lead, Michelle, that has been cut now to 6, 91-85. A big turnaround here in the fourth quarter. 7 straight points again for Detroit. What was a 15-point lead earlier in the period is now 91-85 as we're approaching the midway point. Pierce, boy, Hamilton playing very aggressively. Hunter almost stole it from behind, but was out of bounds.
But again, they're totally disregarding Rondo, and they've got to get Rondo in Pierce's eyesight so he can catch the first pass.
And Pierce has to realize, I'm not going to get a clean look one-on-one. Help is going to come. I have to have the mindset of making the play, beating the help.
And what else would help him is if he faced up so he could see the double team coming.
Rondo looking. Garnett. Stripped by Hunter and stolen off the foot of Garnett. And the Pistons get it back. Here they come once again. The Pistons with their defense creating havoc.
And obviously Flip Saunders is saying the way we're going to win this game is defensively, staying with Lindsey Hunter, and he has impacted this game, making crucial plays on the defensive end.
Hunter, the oldest Piston, a veteran. An excellent defensive performance once again. Hamilton with Ray Allen on him. Hamilton kicks it out in the corner. Wallace puts it up short, and Garnett the rebound.
And their energy level is not good enough. They need to get the ball up the court so they have as much time as possible to run their offense.
Right now, they're playing a kind of not to lose style as the whistle's blown. It's going to go against, and a technical foul. First, the personal foul on Hunter, and then a technical foul. Rasheed Wallace with the technical. For the Pistons, what an awful time. Now that's his 6th. One more and he'll be suspended for the following game as Allen hits the technical free throw. It was the 13th foul, so now the Celtics will take it out of bounds. We've seen this before from Wallace. He obviously feels he wasn't deserving of the technical.
And this is a foul on Lindsey Hunter. A lot of contact. Paul Pierce trying to post up.
Wallace argued the call. That's where sometimes he gets in trouble. He'll argue calls that weren't against him. Kenny Mallor apparently had heard enough. You don't know whether or not he said one of the magic words. But every point right now is so important.
And this is the most difficult decision for a coach. Do you go with the team that's rolling with Lindsey Hunter on the floor, or do you take him out and get your starter back in there in Chauncey Billups? That's a difficult decision.
Garnett, a brick. And McDyess the rebound. Well, you've got to credit. Richard Hamilton's defense on Paul Pierce has been terrific here in the fourth.
And he's overmatched. You talk about the size and strength of Pierce, but Rip Hamilton is battling.
He can't even get a shot off. McDyess to Billups. McDyess to Billups. Long three-pointer. It's good. Chauncey Billups from way downtown. And it's back to a 4-point game. The 10th three-pointer of the game for the Pistons. A 10-1 run. And this crowd anxiously gets on its feet. Rondo tries it again. Rondo flips it up and in with the left hand.
That's a heck of a change of hands by Rondo to take the ball at the shot blocker and scoop it up under his arm.
Only his 3rd field goal, but it puts the Celtics back up by 6. Hamilton lost the ball. Rondo looks to push out to Allen. Allen back to Garnett. Up, blocked by McDyess, but a foul. And Antonio McDyess is just fouled out of the game. Rondo's been dishing, been struggling shooting, but what a move with his non-shooting hand here.
Well, when the team needed a move, he pulled the Beyonce move. To the left, to the left. Spectacular lay-in over Rasheed Wallace.
Our first Beyonce mention of the season. As Rajon Rondo, that 13 assists tonight, has played terrific basketball, just 1 turnover, but a big bucket there. Timeout with just over 4 to play here in the fourth.
The incredibly fuel-efficient 4-cylinder Mitsubishi Outlander. Now with $1,000 holiday bonus cash. Hop in. It's go time.
To my crew. To my hero. To my great escape. To my cool tracks. To my hot romance. To my quiet night out. I just wanted to say, call me.
The new Glide. It's from Samsung. It's for you.
Rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing, ever alone this world. But that was when I ruled the world.
People come to E-Trade to trade stocks. But they can also trade stocks in 6 global markets, even China. They can earn yields that are way higher than the national average. Transfer funds in and out with a click. Build a retirement plan in 4 easy steps. And have all their accounts conveniently linked all on one page. No wonder there's 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
Presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by the U.S. Air Force. Defending America in a changing world. U.S. Air Force, above all. Mitsubishi Motors. Hop in. It's go time. And vitamin water. It works for LeBron James. Try it.
4:04 left, fourth quarter of the pivotal Game 5. This conference final tied at 2 apiece. Celtics trying to hang on as they lead by 6. Antonio McDyess, who has been so good in this series, is fouled out for the second time in the playoffs. So he's done. And not had a huge game tonight, but he has had a huge series. Detroit trying to come back from a 17-point second-half deficit. 15 points here in the fourth quarter. They cut it to 4. Right now it's 6. And remind you, visit NBA.com. Get into the 2008 playoffs at NBAstore.com. The best selection of team jerseys, hats, T-shirts, and more. Some anxious Celtic fans. They've seen the Pistons slowly chip away at what was a big lead. Detroit always fighting back. And there you see the fourth quarter. Pistons have outscored them by 7. Wallace with a technical foul. He was talking with Kenny Maurer a good part of that timeout. He did it the right way, though. It was a calm trying to explain his side of the story. Maurer was listening to him. Not going to rescind it, obviously. Now he's just looking at him, shaking his head. Free throw shooting has been big in this series. Celtics now at 79% for this game. Crowd respectfully quiet for Garnett at the line. Lead back to 8.
If you're the Celtics, what you're thinking right now, just 2-team fouls. You can be more aggressive closing out this game.
Hamilton drives on Ray Allen, tied up. Phillips right back to Hamilton. Shot clock at 8. Hamilton trying to create. Wild pass. Phillips 3 on the shot clock to the basket, puts it up, banks it in. Beautiful move from Chauncey Billups.
And the Pistons have downsized with Tayshaun Prince at the 4 spot.
Alley-oop to Garnett, and he's hammered by Prince.
Now here's my question to you. What's the difference between that play by Prince and P.J. Brown's play on Max Hill earlier?
Because he went up to try to block the shot there.
You always say that it has nothing to do with that.
Or flagrant, no. Here, let's watch it.
This is a big-time play by Tayshaun Prince. You don't want to give up the easy deuce to Kevin Garnett. Don't allow him to catch and finish. It's the right play by both guys, Brown and Prince.
You know what? We just won by TKO.
I still think it's a different play. Especially because P.J. Brown comes from behind. I've been wrong many times. P.J. Brown called for a flagrant foul in the first half on this one. He's from behind them.
What does that got to do with it?
There's a lot to do with it.
Where in the flagrant foul rule does being behind have anything to do with it?
I don't think those are the same.
They're the same in one way. None of them are flagrants. See, do what the NBA did. Just say we were wrong. We made a mistake, and then we'll stop badgering me about all this.
I'm wrong all the time. I'm not saying my opinion's right. That's just my opinion. 3.5 to go. 98-90. Celtics clinging to this lead. Hamilton inadvertently poked in the eye, and they're going to get a timeout. One of the other players calling it as Hamilton obviously was poked by his fellow UConn man, Ray Allen.
And doesn't he have the mask on?
Well, yep, but there's an opening of the eyes.
Wow.
And you see that left hand come in and just, or was it the right one? He's glanced it. And he's trying to call timeout, one of his teammates as well. Now the Pistons have only one timeout left.
The incredibly fuel-efficient 4-cylinder Mitsubishi Outlander, now with $1,000 holiday bonus cash. Hop in. It's go time.
What's good? I'm Stuart Scott with the Sports Center right now. A couple of coaches signing contract extensions in the NBA. NBA Coach of the Year Byron Scott has agreed to an extension with the Hornets, and Greg Popovich has inked a renew with the Spurs that carries him through the 2011-2012 season. Hey, make sure you stay with ESPN for Sports Center after Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Full post-game reaction and analysis as we come to you live from Boston. Now let's go back to Mike, Mark, Jeff, and Michelle.
All right, Stuart, after Rip Hamilton was inadvertently poked in the eye, he couldn't continue, but was able to get a timeout. One of his teammates, let's look at the replay. And notice the left side of your screen. Here's Tayshaun Prince coming in, timeout, timeout, timeout. And they were able to get it before Perkins had the tie-up. No question he got poked. They just didn't see it. And Artie Kander attending to Hamilton, was obviously shaken up by it. He has been terrific once again. Rip Hamilton has scored more playoff points than anyone in Pistons history. He's played in more playoff games with anyone in Pistons history, and that's why this team is so good. They've been together now 6 straight conference finals for the majority, for the core players. That's why you can never count them out, even when they're down by this much late in the game.
Well, they have good poise, they have good weapons, but I think they've really overachieved this year. I think, you know, people thought Chicago was going to pass him, Cleveland was going to pass him, and to come back and have such a great year while developing your bench is a credit to Flip Saunders.
And I disagree with the overachievement. This is a quality basketball team that still has the core of guys that won an NBA championship. Using the young guys, they are still a dangerous out in the NBA.
They're an unselfish team. Don't care who gets the points. They just want to get the win. And right now, they're down 8. Shot clock down to 4. Wallace turns. Not that time. Rebound tipped. Prince keeps it alive, and they get a new 24. Phillips, good help from Perkins. Rodney Stuckey, the rookie on the drive, spinning. Phillips fires up a shot, and he's fouled on a 3-point attempt by Rondo. And 3 free throws for Chauncey Billups. So Rondo picks up his 3rd. He has been terrific directing the offense.
Well, that's a smart play by Billups. Certainly contact by Rondo. You have to be a little smarter defensively. You want to stay aggressive, but you have to have high IQ to close out the ball game on a defensive end.
And your guards have to come with that initial long rebound. Second shots down the stretch, they just really hurt you.
Pistons have been the 2nd best free throw shooting team in the playoffs. Only Toronto had a higher shooting percentage. Billups, meanwhile, is perfect. He's one of the best in the league. Struggled a bit in this series, but he is a clutch free throw shooter. And knocks down all 3. 5-point game with under 3 to play. Pistons are in the penalty, so every foul will send Boston to the line. Rondo looking. Oh, dangerous pass to Garnett. Garnett against Prince. Kevin Garnett shoots. Shot no good. Perkins had it, lost it.
Well, I think rather than playing pick and roll and giving it to KG at the top of the key, put him on the block. He's being defended by Tayshaun Prince.
And Perkins has just been called for a technical foul.
And I hate this. I really don't. I mean, I don't know what he said. He probably shouldn't have said anything. But I just don't like these types of situations where technical fouls are called in the fourth quarter, particularly this late.
Well, but if the guy is mouthing all, you say don't know what he said, but if he's saying the wrong thing,
man, just move on. Sometimes you got to have thick skin in this business.
How about just shut up and play?
Yeah, but you've never played. You've never had like a call go against you like that in this type of game.
I agree with you, Mike. I'm on your side this time. Kendrick Perkins, KP 43. You got to control your emotions to close out the ball game. Showed the body language and had to get teed up.
No way. No way.
Phillips bumped by Perkins. They don't call Phillips ready to go. Perkins again with a help defense. Phillips looking. Shot clock at 7. Hamilton for 3. Won't go. Pierce the rebound with 2:15 remaining. And the Celtics clinging to a 4-point lead. And a foul call. Again, Rondo with those high arcing lob passes, giving the defense an opportunity to pick it off. They got bailed out.
Almost like he's afraid. Take the trap, make the play. If I'm Doc Rivers, because of the last 2 possessions by Rondo, I'm taking the ball out of his hand.
Pierce will shoot 2. Pierce from the line tonight, 4 of 6.
That was a great closeout by Ray Allen to prevent Hamilton from getting a good look. And I just want to finish my point on Perkins' technical. There is, and they always say, you get a chance, heat of the moment reaction, and then cool down. All he did was throw his fist, he cooled down, he moved on. It wasn't something that he kept perpetuating a disagreement.
But if you're going to referee in this league, all that's asked of you is to be consistent. If you're going to tee up Rasheed Wallace for trying to argue a call, well, you got to do the same thing to Perkins.
Pierce goes 1 of 2. It's back to 5. Stuckey forces up a shot, and he's fouled by Pierce. Doc Rivers upset with that call. And more free throws. Here we go again. Free throws are going to either win or lose this game for somebody.
We're talking about a rookie making a play against Paul Pierce, creating a contact and going to. That's a bad play if you're the Celtics. Trust your defense. Doc Rivers saying no way is that a foul, but Stuckey going to the line for 2.
And the rookie knocks down another free throw. Posey's going to come back in for defense. And it's going to be Perkins who will sit down. Again, with that small lineup that you talked about, Jeff, with Detroit, Doc Rivers trying to match up.
Doc Rivers going small, putting Posey in now so he can play the power forward position. But instead, I say punish Tayshaun Prince defending Kevin Garnett. Use the same lineup and post up the big ticket.
This is the closest the Pistons have been in the second half. They trail by as many as 17 in the third, by as many as 15 in the fourth. It's a 3-point game. Garnett kicks it out to Posey. Back up top, Pierce. Shot clock at 8. Good help defense from Rasheed Wallace. Pierce and Phillips knocks down Rondo and a foul. So Rondo will go to the line and shoot 2 with 1:36 remaining. Boy, these lob passes from the Celtics, so dangerous. Rondo a little shaken up.
This is as poor execution of pick-and-roll basketball that I've seen in my life to close out a basketball game. From Rondo, Paul Pierce, your job is to take the trap, extend the defense, and then make the proper play with the crisp pass. Not the home run play, but a play towards the basket.
Rondo, you see in the playoffs, his free throw percentage is first of the night. And misses the free throw. It's still a 3-point game with 1:36 remaining. Both teams in the penalty right now. Celtics next foul will put them there. Pistons only have one timeout. Celtics have 3. Rondo 1 for 2. 4-point game with a minute and a half to go here in this pivotal game 5. The winner will be 1 win away from getting to the NBA Finals. Phillips on the drive, kicks it out. Hunter for 3. That's good. Lindsey Hunter from downtown. Excuse me, Stuckey, not Hunter. Stuckey knocks it down, and it's a 1-point game. So Stuckey, who came in the game and stayed there when Hunter sat, comes up with a huge play for the rookie. And the Pistons with their 11th three-pointer of the night.
Play made by Chauncey Billups. Dribble penetration, finding Stuckey all by himself in the corner. Make the case that it was a charge. Chauncey Billups creates the opening and then finds Stuckey in the corner all by himself.
They battle back from 15 down here in the 4th quarter. And it's a 1-point game. Celtics ball when we come back.
You okay, kid?
My foot, it's killing me.
Oh, athlete's foot. Hit that with Tough Actin Tinactin. It's more than a cure. It's so tough it can keep you from getting athlete's foot. Get boom, Tough Actin Tinactin.
Old Spice Hair and Body Wash works great on both hair and body. So if some parts of your body have hair and other parts of your body don't have hair, then Old Spice Hair and Body Wash is right for you.
What?
What? Old Spice Hair and Body Wash for hair and or body or both.
ESPN's coverage of NASCAR continues Saturday with the NASCAR Nationwide Series race from Dover, presented by DAP on ESPN2. Coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. Eastern Conference Finals, all tied at 2 games apiece. This one's so huge. And with 1:17 to go in the 4th, the Celtics clinging to a 1-point lead. Rodney Stuckey, the rookie from Eastern Washington, who's had tremendous growth all season, in the corner, nails a 3. First, the fact that Flip Saunders has so much confidence to have him out here at this time, and he is also not afraid to put up a big shot.
Well, prior to that, made the play where he was fouled and went to the line. Then the young fella ready to lock and load in the corner, but help can't come from Stuckey in that situation. You got to realize that the big guy's responsibility is to help. The help can't come from the 3-point shooter. Now it's about executing for the Celtics offensively.
Again, the Pistons in the penalty. Ray Allen, Rondo, Garnett, Pierce, and Posey out there for Boston.
And they're going to help off Rondo. Rondo has got to be ready to get himself in the right position and then be ready to catch and shoot or catch and make a play.
Hamilton on Rondo. Hamilton's defense has been terrific here in the 4th. Ray Allen with Stuckey on him. Wallace pokes it away. Allen gets it back. Allen looking for an opening. He's tied up in the corner, throws it off Wallace's leg. And it's still Celtic ball with 6 on the shot clock. And Doc Rivers is going to call one of his timeouts to set up what is a huge play right here. And now the Celtics are down to 1 timeout remaining. You know, we said right from the start, these are 2 of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Certainly, statistically, they're the best in the East all season long. And the defense has been terrific here in the 4th quarter, especially with Detroit.
Well, right now, it's about the Detroit Pistons taking the Celtics out of what they want to do offensively, whether it's pick and roll, isolations, post-ups. They are active, long, and really disrupting what the Celtics are trying to do.
And it just shows you that last possession, how hard it is to play post-up basketball late. You've got to have a guy like Paul Pierce who can get the ball without a pick, without a post-up, and get his own shot. And usually, it's a pull-up jump shot.
You see the 16 points in the 4th quarter. That's after they threw up 32 in the 3rd. Pistons just amped up their defense as they've done so many times. They've been just a great defensive team over the past 5 or 6 years, and they're doing it here at crunch time.
And I thought Boston had a chance in the 3rd quarter to put it away with better play when they got the big lead.
6 on the shot clock. Celtics will inbound. Posey has it. Allen comes off the screen, fires a 3, puts it in. That's a 2. His foot was on the line, but he knocks down a big shot. 27 for Allen. Three-point game, under a minute to play. Billups to the basket. Misses. Wallace, the rebound, lost it. Still alive. Knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be Piston ball. It looked like Garnett touched it last. And they get a new 24.
And Mike, they have scored on every baseline out-of-bounds situation. To me, right now, they have to switch some of these screens, and Posey's got to protect the basket.
Looking for Hamilton. And they have to call their last timeout. Excellent ball denial from Boston. And Flip Saunders is out of timeouts with 47.2 seconds remaining. And his team down by 3. But a big shot from Allen, just beyond or just inside the three-point mark.
Well, your job as Kevin Garnett is to get air space for Ray Allen. Just a little brush screen, gets Rip Hamilton off balance. Ray Allen catches, ready to knock down the jump shot. A big time jump shot for the Celtics, giving them breathing.
Allen with his best scoring game of this postseason. Trying to get that foot behind, but you see that right foot right on the line. And correctly called a 2. He's got 27 points. Allen from downtown with 5 3-pointers. This one's still far from over. Detroit ball down by 3.
Well, you see the adjustment on that last out-of-bounds set what Coach talked about. Rondo and Ray Allen switch. Rip Hamilton coming off the screen. You got to stay at home, and I think the crucial thing for the Celtics, don't overhelp. You don't want to give up wide open 3-pointers off of help defense.
And Mike, with the Pistons being out of timeout, not only do they have to get the ball in, obviously, but it could affect, obviously, strategy late game, not being able to advance the ball up the court.
Sometimes 47 seconds can seem an eternity. So many things can happen if you have your timeouts left. Remember, they had to burn a timeout earlier when Rip Hamilton got inadvertently poked in the eye, and then having to burn a timeout there when they couldn't get the ball in bounds. Celtics with just the 1 timeout remaining. Chauncey Billups takes so many of the big shots for these Pistons. Well, Rip Hamilton has been superb tonight. It's one of the reasons they're tough to defend, Detroit, is different guys can knock him down. Don't be surprised even if the rookie Stuckey takes the big shot. So it's Hamilton, Billups, Stuckey, Rasheed Wallace, and Prince. McDyess is fouled out. Doc Rivers with some of his defenders, including Posey out there, and the other 4 starters. Pistons get a new 24. Prince to Billups. Billups nearly lost it. Now on the drive inside, comes up short, and Rondo the rebound. Pistons do not have to foul. And Rondo brings it across.
It was a great job by Rondo pulling his hands back and making Billups finish instead of bailing him out with a foul.
And I don't like the idea of a pick and roll. I'd rather have Paul Pierce make a play without being trapped.
Garnett has it. Shot clock at 3. Garnett looking. Shot clock at 2. Puts it up. Won't go. Prince the rebound. They cannot call timeout. Hamilton shaken up on the play. Here comes Stuckey. Hamilton still back. Stuckey looking, and he's fouled by Rondo with 8.2 remaining. So now 2 free throws. Hamilton did not even make it to half court. As you see him in a lot of pain holding that right arm. Now, was that too early for the Celtics to foul? Obviously, they didn't want to give up a 3-pointer that could have tied it, but there's still plenty of time left. And Hamilton is really hurt. Rondo committed the foul, his 4th. See, Hamilton and Ray Allen got caught up, and obviously it happened right there in that tangle with Ray Allen.
By fouling that early, Detroit can shoot both free throws. They don't have to make one and then miss one. They have plenty of time to make 2, try for the steal, and Lindsey Hunter inserted, could easily steal the ball, foul, and then race the ball up the court and get the last shot.
And it's a rookie on the line. Clutch free throw from Rodney Stuckey, last year playing for Eastern Washington, this year in the conference finals of the NBA with critical free throws. Stuckey rattles in 2, and the Celtics will call their final timeout in a 1-point game with 8.2 remaining.
And Mike, I always felt it was better to try to get the ball in from the baseline where you can run the baseline versus advance it by taking your final timeout. And we've seen in the past where anything goes on these out-of-bounds plays as far as grabbing and holding, trying to break free.
And they have a choice. The Celtics can inbound, they can advance the ball in the front court, or if they want, they can inbound on the backcourt. This is just Game 5. Game 6 coming up Friday night at the Palace at Auburn Hills. We'll have it for you starting pregame coverage at 7:30. Tip-off shortly after 8:30.
And the reason why I agree with Coach is because you call a timeout and you allow Flip Saunders to talk to his team about strategy and game plan. I'm not upset so much about Rondo fouling quickly. The reason why is because I don't trust that he'll foul at the right time, so you might as well foul before they get a look.
And that's an important point. He was already on the dribble, Stuckey was, so he had to foul him further out where he couldn't raise into the three-point shot. The question is, do you want to do it at 8.2? And in this case, when both teams are shooting so well from the three, I thought it was the right play.
Eddie House now comes in instead of Rondo. Posey will inbound. Lindsey Hunter returns for Detroit, try and deny the ball against Ray Allen, who's the Celtics' best free throw shooter. 8.2 remaining. Pistons will try and steal, if not foul right away.
You've got to get the ball in Ray Allen's hand.
Excellent screen set by Garnett. Allen dribbling, and there's the foul. A couple of seconds go off the clock. And Allen will go to the free throw line.
I don't even understand why Ray Allen would put the ball on the floor, catch it, and take the foul. Really a risky play from Ray Allen. Good job of getting open, get the ball into the hands of your best free throw shooter, and then Allen going to the line to put his team up 3.
He's one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the NBA. You look at his playoff numbers, spectacular at 93%. Hasn't missed tonight, but these right here are critical clutch free throws. Makes it a 2-point game. Even if he hits this, 6.3, plenty of time for the Pistons to bring it up. They don't have timeouts, but do the Celtics foul and not make them or allow them to take a 3?
Without question, that's exactly what Doc Rivers and Tom Thibodeau are calling for.
And they're saying don't even wait. We want to commit the foul when they cross half court.
Clutch free throws from Ray Allen. Stuckey, they threw it away. Now Rondo fouls him, and that's the smart play with 4.5 remaining. Almost threw it away. And now the rookie goes back to the line where he just hit 2.
Now what you have to do if you're Stuckey, in my opinion, is you have to make one and then miss one. Because if the Celtics get the ball in, you don't have enough time, and they make the 2 free throws, you don't have enough time to get the ball back up the court.
If you're the Celtics, do you put in a better rebounder along the lane? Can't do it now.
Well, I believe you, on the second shot of your Doc Rivers, you want to put a better rebounder on the lane.
Oh, and Stuckey misses. Now he absolutely has to miss. Celtics don't have timeouts. Now you're going to see Perkins come in to go along the lane.
But this is where the outside guys, Ray Allen and Eddie House, have to match up so the ball can't be tipped back out. Paul Pierce has got to stick with Stuckey.
And that's even in being in position to foul immediately if the Pistons happen to get the ball back.
4.5 seconds remaining. See Phillips talking to Stuckey. Mike Callahan, the ref, saying, I'll watch from out here. They have to wait on the release to go in. Stuckey hits the free throw. I think he was trying to miss it. Pierce looking to inbound. Looking, finds Garnett. Garnett quickly fouled by Wallace with 3.4 remaining. Now Garnett can put the game away if he makes both. But so Flip Saunders will need a miracle for his team to pull this one out. You see the disappointment from the rookie.
But did you see how they defended Ray Allen on this inbound play? If you did that in New York City, you're going to jail for a couple of nights.
So Garnett, if he hits 2, makes it a 4-point game, game's over. But if he misses one or both, the Pistons can heave it down court and try a desperation last-second shot. They are out of timeouts. Garnett knocks down the first. That makes it a three-point game.
And they have to match up right here. Paul Pierce has got to match up. Rondo's got to match up. Posey and Allen don't go for the rebound. Just get matched up.
And you got to be in position that if KG does miss the foul shot, you want to foul before they can get off a three-point.
Garnett knocks it down. Clutch free throw. Phillips comes the other way. They'll let him go. And the Celtics survive and take a 3-2 series lead. What a hard-fought game here in Boston tonight. Respect from Garnett and Rasheed Wallace. Rip Hamilton played a terrific game. Perkins was superb for the Celtics. As the Celtics see a 15-point lead whittled down to 1 here in the fourth quarter, but managed to hang on and survive. Ray Allen with his best game of the playoffs with 29. He's with Michelle.
Mike, thank you. Ray, what were the final 2 minutes of that game like for you guys on the floor?
It was electric. Just being in the situation here this postseason, as a Celtic member, we've learned a lot about ourselves, and I think, we're facing a team that have been in these situations many nights, and, I think we're growing every night we're faced with situations like this.
Learning a lot about yourself. I can't imagine how much you've learned enduring this slump that you've been in and seemingly busted out of tonight. What did it feel like tonight, and when did you know you might have your stroke back?
Michelle, I never really looked at it like I was in a slump. It was just a matter of me just getting in rhythm, just getting into the offense and finding ways to get shots and helping this team out. It's been there, but, you as a shooter, you just keep shooting and you never get down to yourself.
With about 6 seconds left on the clock, you were forced to go to the line. You and Kevin Garnett both making clutch free throws. Talk about what it's like to step up to the line in that kind of situation where every single point matters.
Well, I always talk to people about the pressure of shooting shots in this building like this with so many people watching, and we just had to calm our hearts down. I think, you're so excited and your body's moving, everything's, your adrenaline's flowing. You had to calm yourself down and just take a breath. And if you notice when Kevin took his shot, he had a sigh of relief where he just went and shot the ball and then went in for him.
Congratulations on the win, Ray.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Michelle. I don't know if the Celtic fans had their hearts calm down until the final buzzer. Same thing for the Pistons fans, either here or watching at home. Either way, when we go to Game 6, we'll have it for ESPN on Friday. 2 lead with a chance to get a victory in advance to the NBA Finals. Pistons will try and force a Game 7. Once again, our final score, Celtics 106, Pistons 102. For a recap of tonight's game and all the post-game press conferences, go to ESPN News. While coming up next on ESPN is SportsCenter. For Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Michelle Tafoya, and our entire fabulous ESPN crew, this is Mike Breen saying so long from Boston. Celtics survive a big comeback from the Pistons. Boston leads it 3-2.